Welcome to Fullerton College football on Sportsnet, USA.net as your Hornets get ready to take on Mount San Jacinto. There we go. I thought you were going to say something on me. Corey Neyland gives me the head fake and goes, okay, I'm going to mess up Mark's first statement. Thank you, Corey Neyland. My co-partner, like usual, on Sportsnet, USA.net, Ryan Osborn. Fullerton comes up 3-0 after a big victory last week, 50-0, Corey Neyland. Mount San Jacinto comes in 0-3. So it should be a game that if you're a Hornet fan, you think they're going to come away with a big victory. We'll see if that happens. The Eagles are here for the upset, and we'll see if that upset's going to work for them here on Sportsnet, USA.net. The Hornets won the toss. They'll receive the football to start things off here on Sportsnet, USA.net. At the 15, looking to come to the outside. Gets a block at the corner, cuts back and taken down just across the 20 to the 21. Be first down and 10 for the Hornets.
And so let's see what the Hornets can do today against Mount San Jacinto, who's up from the American division to the national division this year. And they've had a rough time of it, as you said, 0-3. Lost last week to Moore Park College in a game that they could have won, but just turnovers and penalties hampered them from a victory. Sammy Garcia, the right guard, Dylan Nichols, the left guard. Nicholas Sia-Tanu'u is the center.
Brandon Nunez comes in at quarterback for the Hornets. Brandon's been hot. He can run, he can throw. We get a jump to start things off. It's illegal procedure against your Hornets. That's going to move him back 5 yards on the play.
And on the left side, excuse me, that was the right side of the offensive line. Left side is Dalton Brown, the left guard, and the left tackle is Andrew Sanders, the second.
Jordan Tate to the near side of the field. Jeremy Gonzalez, the hot receiver for this Hornets, on the far side of the field. Nunez goes with a quick sweep around the end, handed off to Bakapuna. You got a nickname for him out there.
Elvis.
Elvis has the ball. So Elvis is in the house in the backfield for the Hornets. No gain.
James Scarce with the tackle. He's one of the starters, and we'll get that in just a moment. Sorry, Mark.
That's okay. Second down and a long 20 for the Hornets. Nunez has it. Tipped at the line of scrimmage, trying to find Jeremy Gonzalez. It's going to bring up a third down. And so far, the Eagles have been aggressive on the defensive side.
Yeah, Vincent Perriman with the tip on that to make it incomplete. And Fullerton not sharp in their first couple possessions.
Garnett Davis III now in at running back for the Hornets. Nunez still at quarterback. Big third down and a lot of yardage for him. Not like last week when they played. Handed off to Garnett Davis III. He turns the corner, staying on his feet, driven out of bounds, got across the original marker, but he's going to be short of a first down. So the Eagles defensively come up big on their first attempt to stop the offense.
And that's what they needed to start this ball game off. They gave up and deferred to the second half, and a 3-and-out. You can't draw it up any better for Casey Mazzota's teams. And you know what I'm upset about, guys? Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk to Casey before the broadcast.
Yeah, Christian Kurtz back deep for the Eagles. He's going to stand at the 35-yard line. Ball is dropped. Mamana has to scramble, and Corey, as well as special teams played last week, this is not what they started this game off like.
This is the ideal start. We're not going to say upset yet, but this is an ideal start for a team who's coming and struggling to upset a team that's 3-0 to start off the season. The backers are going to be, Chris Harm in the middle, Jeremiah McNeely on one side, and getting the start today.
So Kretz comes to the near side of the field. Inside him is going to be Koa Apana. First down and 10 for the Eagles. Going back across the middle of the field. drops it off to Kretz, across the 10 down to the 8. Hayden Lara is going to be quarterback for the Eagles. So Lara, the quarterback.
Mark Mohammed Hasune, Hasuna, gets the start instead of Brandon Tita-Noir at one linebacker position.
Gibbons goes out the slot on the right-hand side. Apana outside of him over there. Hayden takes it himself, gets drugged down, gets to the 5-yard line, just short of the 5. 2nd and goal for the Eagles. So 2nd and goal for Mount San Jacinto. Caldera in the slot on the left, just outside of him. They try to go to Caldera, tipped away at the last second.
That was Taden Smith on the deflection, and they were looking for Caldera. As you said, Mark, Taden Smith read it perfectly. They came into this ball game thinking they had a chance to get a couple picks. There was one opportunity there.
It's going to bring 3rd down and goal.
Ant Harris up front, along with Eric Hale and Jordan Crawford in the middle, and Carlo Torres.
Lara at quarterback. Pana goes far out to the left. Watch the tight end on the near side. They throw it out in the flat, trying to get it, but nobody is open as they get it to Caldera, but he's just smothered when he catches the ball.
Yes, and we'll see if it's a penalty on Chris Harm. Is it a late hit?
Corey calls it roughing the passer against the Hornets. So they played well defensively. They didn't have many penalties in last week, and it just looks like these are 2 different Saturdays.
Yeah, the first 6 plays, not what the Hornets looked like in the first 3 games. Jordan Little gets the start in the near side corner. He's wearing 22 in gray. As we mentioned, Taden Smith and KD, Kadari Kearns, the other safety. And on the opposite side, that is going to be, thought it was Quentin Ashford, but it's actually Ty Milton who gets the start today.
So the referees are discussing where to put the ball down at the present time. I'm going to put it at the 4-yard line. I got the spotter next to me. I always look to the geniuses to my left to get the right answers. They're lucky we could count up to 4 on fingers because we knew where the ball was going to be. 1st and goal from the 4. Casey Mazzota used to be the defensive coordinator here under Gene Murphy. Sellers, or Jackson, excuse me. Quarterback keeper, try to get there, gets back to the 5, if that, Corey. And so it'll be 2nd down and goal for the Eagles.
Quarterback keeper was stopped by number 22, Jordan Little.
San Jacinto averaging just a little over 13 points a game. So if they could score here on a touchdown, they're halfway home. 2nd goal. Enter off the right side, back to the 4, tackled there quickly is Caldera. And Corey, they keep trying to go to the right side, the left side on the defense, and that has just been stonewall for the Hornets.
Carlo Torres and Jordan Crawford on that left side getting good penetration against Tommy Garcia, David Shin, Ben Chavez, Miles Hudson, and Ernie Urias for the Eagles line.
Hayden Lara yet to throw a touchdown pass this season. 3 interceptions. 555 yards. We'll see if he throws here. He's back. Across the middle. Touchdown. Eagles. His first touchdown of the year.
Caught by Koa Apana. And again, first touchdown pass, first touchdown reception, of course, and it was a nice crossing route, what they did at the goal line. they run the back out of the backfield and doing an out route, and they put a Pana on a square in, Ryan.
So we're getting ready. Ball is high, snap, spotted. We get whistles on the play. So Ryan Osborn, who needed to, come running in just to say, did that really happen? Was I just sort of fooled on that one? So that's going to move it back 5 yards.
So Kraus will be doing the kicking. Mason on the season. 1-for-1 extra point.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. So he's 2 for 2 for the season, and with 11-12 to go here in the first quarter, it's the Eagles 7, the Hornets 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Don't forget, well, hey, I stopped by this morning at Discount Markets at Fullerton, picked up a few snacks, brought them to the stadium, made sure everybody was fed. Just go down to Raymond, and as soon as you pass Commonwealth, it's just on the right-hand side. I tell you, you can find anything you want. You take a snack, your basic dinner. Hey, they've even got every soda named in the book, and pick it up for next to nothing. That's Discount Markets of Fullerton here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
So Christian Stewart back deep, and it looks like Kadari Kearns. Stewart on the far side, Kearns on the near side.
Stewart runs over to the sidelines, watches it hit. It hits out of bounds, so that will be a penalty against the Eagles.
So 1st and 10 from the 35. So Fullerton with good field position, and let's see if they're more focused on this drive.
Fullerton, and they're all gray. Nunez comes back out at quarterback. Leland Smith to the far side of the field. Nunez sets things up. See if the Hornets go to the air or keep it on the ground. Nunez goes back, going deep down the far side of the field. A little grab, a good tug. The referees lets it go on. And nice no call as they end up going for
number 20, Karsten Memmerl.
Nunez brings them out, 2nd down and 10. Straight dive play at the 40, cross the 40, all the way down at the 50.
Again,
So
Bakapuna.
Elvis makes the run on that. Bakapuna, his nickname is Elvis on this team. Fake it to him across the middle. Looking deep again. Separation, caught, taken down on a great catch there by Smith. So Leland Smith comes away with a big catch on the far side of the field.
40 yards on the reception.
C.J. Broy to the far side of the field. Labias in the slot next to him. Smith is to the far side of the field. Bakapuna at running back. Nunez has time. Double clutches. Pump fakes. He gets eaten up and swallowed at the 21.
And that's going to be Rob Williams with the stop. And the players who've shuffled in and out thus far on the defensive side of the bar is Williams. Lockie and Fowler, Shimon Gray has been in there. Vincent Perriman, who had the tip. James Scarce, 2 tackles already. Jonas Sellers, Tyrone Aloa, Huni Pa'u, Tyler Martin, Marone Hazim, Karsten Mamaril, excuse me.
They hand it off to Bakapuna. He cuts back over tackle, stumbles his way down to the 13-yard line.
23 carries, 23 yards on 2 carries on this drive for Bakapuna. In the secondary, Kamari Ross, Greg Jackson as well to round out some of the players on the Eagles defense.
C.J. Broy on the right side of the field. Fox Hagen in the slot next to him. Bakapuna the running back. Nunez goes back, looks to the right, goes for the corner, just a little too long. Incomplete pass.
He was looking for Christian Stewart on the corner, and as you said, too much on the touch. An incomplete pass is going to bring out Jonathan Faubert for a field goal attempt. He's 1 for 1 today, or excuse me, this year.
So they're going to spot it just at the 20. Add on 10, it'll be a 30-yard attempt with 9:14 to go here in the first quarter. Ball is up. The kick is good. With 9:10 to go in the first quarter, it's the Eagles 7, the Hornets 3 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, and the old guy starting this game off. Well, I started off like an old guy, didn't I? Little chuckle, little smile. The ball gets through. Another great turnout here at Sherbeck Field. Nice to see Mickey Flynn down in the front row down here, looking good, sounding good.
The ghost of La Palma, if there was a legend, if there was anyone in Orange County high school football, it is Mickey Flynn. And a nice turnout for Mount San Jacinto as well. Good traveling team.
So Blackman and Caldera back for the Eagles. They'll stand at the 5. Well, if you're Coach Mazzota, this is the start you wanted. Be in front with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Blackmon comes up, gets hit right at the 25, so it'll be first down and 10 for the Eagles at the 25.
Yeah, Blackman is really one of those players who hasn't got a chance to shine much in the first 3 contests, but he's looking to do some work for the remainder of the season. You mentioned Casey Mazzola has really turned around this program.
Matthew Caldera out at running back. Sibley, the near side of the field. They hand it to Caldera. Gets right off center, Corey, and gets a nice gain of about 4 on the play.
And that's something they haven't been able to do in the first 3 games, is actually run the ball. There's been no run presence on the offensive side. And Junior Kennedy is in now on the right end. Eric Hale goes and transfers. He plays 3 different spots on the interior line, Mark.
Lard, quarterback. Caldera, running back. 2nd down and 6 for the Eagles. All right, goes back. Flips a quick one. Is it pulled in? It is. A nice catch there by Simley, who goes up, grabs it. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Eagles.
Give them a 5-yard reception. 3rd and 2.
So 3rd down and 2. Big 3rd down. They hand it off to Caldera. Caldera is met in the backfield. A loss of 3 on the play.
Eaten up by McNeely and Harm. And the difference you can tell, might be able to tell between these 2 teams, 3 leading tacklers for Fullerton is their linebackers. Their defense is predicated for their linebackers to do big things. 3 top tacklers for Mount San Jacinto, they're defensive backs. When you're getting into that 2nd and 3rd level and your backs have to make those tackles, it's a long day.
Connor Melzer back deep to punt for the Eagles. A lot of pressure on him. Gets it off. Going to take a bounce. And the Hornets sort of dance away from it and watch it die right there at the 28. So with 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter, it's the Eagles trailing by 4. It's the Hornets 7, the Eagles 3 on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn, a shaky start to say the least for the Hornets.
Yeah, Mark, and you look at what we've been accustomed to, especially over the last 2 games. You look at the Canyons matchup. They get the pick 6 to start, get another interception, and the offense starts clicking on their first 2 drives. Last week, it seemed like 3 out of the 4 times they had the football in the first quarter, they were able to get into the end zone. You talk about a choppy start for this, not only offense, but also a little bit towards the defensive side of the football as well. If you're Fullerton, you've got to get things going here with Nunez.
Larson now in at quarterback for the Hornets. So Garrett Larson comes in to start this drive off for the Hornets.
Stood up by Andrew Arroyo and Koa. Did they say it was Calipoa? Caliapoa.
Fox Hagen in the game. Garrett Larson looks things over. Goes back, has time. Hagen across the middle. Catches it, tries to get the outside, cannot on a beautiful defensive play by the Eagles.
Yeah, Haugen looked like he had room to run, but Kamari Ross from Beaumont came up and upended him for what could have been a first down. Did they lose a yard?
They did. C.J. Broy comes in near side of the field. Stewart goes in motion to the far side of the field. Hagen in the slot. Now Stewart comes back. Throwing it over there. Nice pitch and catch. Drugged out of bounds, and that was Hagen coming back, making the catch on the play.
Chased down by Arroyo, and that's the drive they needed. And one of the things that they needed for Garrett Larson is to throw the ball down the field coming in. He was only 3 of 5 for 18 yards.
Elvis back in the house. First down and 10 at the 42 for the Hornets. They hand it off to Elvis. He cuts off a left tackle. Gain of 12 on the play.
Got 4 carries in the game thus far and 40 yards.
So it'll be a first down right at the 48. 47 is where they mark it. Get a flag on the play.
New right tackle for the Hornets is Brandon Romo. Left tackle is Preston Jeffs.
So we get a little anxiousness on the line of scrimmage.
New right guard, Braden Cook. Dalton Brown moves to center, and we'll get that left guard in just a moment.
Jordan Tate goes to the far side of the field. Jeremy Gonzalez comes to the near side of the field with Stewart outside of him. First down and 15 for the Hornets. They hand it off to Bakapuna, trying to go around the corner. Drops a shoulder, gets a gain of almost 7 on the play.
Delivers a hit, and Bakapuna is that guy. Again, he's not moving fast until you go ahead and try to tackle him. He's a little bit smaller when you see him on the field until you get up to try to tackle him. Then you realize he's a fast, strong guy, and he's running for 55.
Levias goes to the far side of the field. Jordan Tate stays the near side of the field. Bakapuna at running back. Larson at quarterback. Bakapuna off the left side again. Drags a couple defenders. They're going to give him a few. It's going to bring up a workable third down on the play with 4:23 to go.
Sorry about that, Mark. Legs always moving. And again, a solid pickup. Everything is moving forward.
C.J. Broy comes in the game on the near side of the field. Garnett Davis III now comes in at running back. Far side of the field, Jeremy Gonzalez. Third down for the Hornets, right at the 42. Across the middle of the field. Where else to go to but sure hands? Sure hands, keeps it himself. Looks for a block, hurdles a defender, and that wasn't who I thought it was. It was Neyland Smith who made the play. So Neyland Smith makes Ryan Osborn, maybe that's a coach's show play here on SportsNetUSA.net.
So Neyland Smith, the catch for 40 yards, and this time it looks like it's 37 yards.
Larson calls the signals. Bakapuna, the deep running back. First and goal. Larson hands it off to Bakapuna. He's driving. The little tractor who thought it could comes up just a little short on the play. It'll bring up second down and goal for the Hornets.
And guys, officially Neyland Smith, those two catches for 71 yards in this first quarter. And failed to mention the left guard is going to be Luke Terrones.
Smith on the slot on the far side of the field. Larson at quarterback, Bakapuna behind him. They give it to Bakapuna again. Gain, well, if it's anything, maybe it's 6 inches.
And Jahai Osuna along with Puni Pa'u.
Brings up third and goal at the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter on SportsNetUSA.net. I formation for the Hornets. They hand it off. The Bakapuna struggles. He's maybe a foot short. Corey Neyland saying a couple inches.
Couple inches short, and this is fourth down and goal for the Hornets, and this is a no-brainer, right, guys?
I go for it. Ryan Osborn.
Ryan gives a thumbs up.
Michael Rocha, the up back. Bakapuna, touchdown Hornets. Flag on the play. There's 2 flags in the corner and right behind the linebackers. 12 men on the field defensively for Mount San Jacinto. So touchdown counts. So Elvis has another top hit.
First touchdown of the season.
Faubert try the point back. .119 to go. It's the Hornets 9. The Eagles 7. Get ready for the extra point. Ball spotted at the 10. You add 10. Ball's down, kick is up, and the kick is good. With 1:19 to go here in the first quarter. It's the Hornets 10, the Eagles 7 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, this is the both of you. We talked about Bakapuna all season long. Corey, he doesn't look like he gets much, but today he is getting the yardage with every run. Ryan?
He's getting those chunk yardage. When we saw him at College of the Canyons 2 weeks ago, we looked at the final stats as how did he get 73 yards rushing? And you realize 55 yards in one run and just moving the ball down the field. And so this game, you're really seeing him advance the ball, hitting the holes, and really showing what he can do out of Kahuku High School in Hawaii.
Blackman to the far side of the field. I think that's called Dara to the near side of the field for the Eagles. Yeah, it is. It's called Dara. Back deep. Blackman at the goal line. Looks for an opening. stays on his feet, across the 20, gets taken down at the 21-yard line. 1:14 to go here in the first quarter. It's the Hornets 10, the Eagles 7 on Sportsnet, USA.net.
10 carries for Michael already in the first quarter. He's got 48 yards.
So he's been doing what they've asked him to do. Simley comes to the near side of the field. Lara at quarterback. First down and 10 to 23. Try running play. They can get nowhere as Skinner gets taken down. So Skinner gets nothing. He loses 4 yards on the play.
And Mark C.J. Neesmith makes the tackle along with Ant Harris and Jeremiah McNeely.
So Skinner stays in at running back. Gibbons now in the game. Gibbons goes to the far side of the field. Throw it out to the flat by Caldera. Caldera doesn't get back to the original line of scrimmage. Short there, it's going to bring up a third down and a long 10 for the Eagles.
And against the speed of this Hornet defense, they're trying to use Caldera, who hasn't received much this season, as really a safety outlet and try to move the sticks. But this Fullerton defense, Mark, has really settled down after that first drive.
And that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Well, our first quarter was about as rocky as the Hornets' first quarter here on Sportsnet, USA.net. But we'll see what happens for the next three. It's the Hornets 10, the Eagles 7 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. You know, if the Hornets were driving like they were last week, they probably would have stopped and said, I need some water, I need some snacks, I need something to give Ryan Osborn because he's working out harder than he ever has during the broadcast, and they would have stopped at Discount Markets of Fullerton. Of course, then again, if Corey Neyland could get back in the car, he'd buy about 25 pounds of ice and build a snowman right now around his beautiful wife, and she'd be saying, I love this football game here on Sportsnet, USA.net. And he would get that ice at Discount Markets of Fullerton. So when you're on Raymond between Commonwealth and Chapman, stop on over at Discount Markets of Fullerton. You can find what you want for the best deal in the world. Discount Markets of Fullerton, a proud sponsor of Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey, when you looked, they come in, Nunez goes out. They decide to come in with Larson, look a little smoother with Larson at quarterback at the end of that first quarter.
I just think they settled down and realized we need to play, and this is a team who can beat us if we're going to let them stay in the game. And so, yeah, they did look smooth on that second drive, and you got to believe Brandon Nunez is going to come back and do the same thing. And this first couple possessions for Mount San Jacinto actually has been looking like the best couple possessions they have in their first 3 games.
Lara stays in at quarterback. Kretz comes to the near side of the field. Third down, pressure comes on. Looking for there, and he just could not set his feet and give nothing in space to Gibbons as the wide receiver.
Yeah, when you have 4 gray jerseys hounding you in the backfield, you got to get rid of it quickly. And the official being in the way doesn't hurt the defense for Fullerton.
Jeremy Gonzalez comes in looking for the punt return. Gonzalez will stand at the 35. Connor Melzer, the punter for the Eagles. Lively crowd here at Sherbeck Field.
Return man, Crash Gonzalez.
Jeremy, one of the better receivers for this Hornet team. End over end. Jeremy's going to track it down. Watches it roll as it sneaks its way out of bounds at the 39. So with 14:44 to go, it's the Hornets 10, the Eagles 7 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, the old guy, bringing you the game. That sounded like I was making Ryan Osborn the old guy, didn't it?
No.
Ryan Osborn?
No.
No?
Unforgettable old guy.
Oh, okay.
And speaking of the old guy, here's we're going to start the campaign now. Next Hall of Fame class for Fullerton College Athletics, Mark Pavlovich. Go ahead and write Mark Pavlovich's name in there to be nominated and elected as a 22-year voice of Fullerton College Athletics, not just football, a deserving spot in the Fullerton College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Brandon Nunez comes in, throws it out to the flat, just drops it out there, and it's a foot race down the field on a pitch and catch to Stewart. How many yards did you say he had in the first quarter? Stewart, no, that was Leland Smith who had 71 yards. That's Stewart's first catch of the game.
Oh, okay. And he picks up about 24 there. Wakapuna in the first period, 48 yards rushing in that touchdown.
Garnett Davis III in at running back. First down and 10 at the 42. Nunez goes back, plants a foot, looking to go deep, on the money to Christian Stewart. And Corey, that was a perfect pitch and catch for a touchdown.
And we talk about the Aiden Koenigs or Marcus Grossman's type of players. And Christian Stewart, Jeremy Gonzalez, those are two guys. Fullerton's had one of those guys on the team. Now they've got two slot receivers who can, as you just saw, be big play receivers in this team for offense for Garrett Campbell. And Garrett Campbell, does he look at ease this season thus far as a play caller?
He does. Yeah, he really does. High snap. Kick is blocked. Picked up. Knocked out of bounds. So it was a high snap, tough to control, tough to pull down, and there was no opportunity. The kick is blocked. So with 14:07 to go here in the second quarter, it's the Hornets 16. The Eagles 7 on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And that kick was blocked by the Phantom. So 16-7 is your score. Mark, elsewhere, right now, don't know if it's updated, but East LA in the second quarter over Golden West, 3-0 in Southern California. Elsewhere, also just going down, Mark. Most games don't start till 1. So we'll give you more scoring updates at halftime.
So Malik Blackman back again. Caldera's going to stand next to him for the Eagles. Blackman out of Orange Lutheran, a familiar name here on Sportsnet, USA.net. (16-7). Line drive off the side of the foot. Little Corey Neyland hook shot. Dribbled out of bounds. So, you know, a little of this, a little of that. The Eagles have been getting excellent field position in this game.
And that helps when you're a team that's not, as you see the false start, illegal procedure because it kicked out of bounds. But that's what you need when you're a team that you come in and not expected to win if you're not an Eagle fan or an Eagle player.
So first down and 10 for the Eagles. Laura brings them out, looking to find some excitement on their side. Goes out, throws it the flat. Blocked in the back, and Apana looked up and said, wait a minute, who's standing there? And gets run over.
Said, my name's EJ, and let me get a tackle in here.
Loss of 5 on the play. So Lara trying to find something. Hayden is just, you know, hasn't had anybody there.
And I'm sorry, that was Biso Branson, Tita Noir, so not EJ Adams.
Simley comes to the near side of the field. Apana stands there next to him. Hayden Lara at quarterback, looking to find some sort of action. He can hand it off. Caldera steps up to throw, block. They drew nice little drop along the way to Skinner. And it wasn't Skinner, my mistake. It was Kretz. Made that catch.
Pass complete. Tackled by Branson Titanois.
So Kretz comes to the near side of the field. Gibbons with him. Hayden Lara almost gets taken down, stays on his feet, and stumbles for a big gain all the way down to the 47.
And Fullerton wants an unnecessary personal foul call on Mount San Jacinto, but I think it's a good job by the officials because they missed the taunting by the Hornet player, Derek Bermudez, and the retaliation. They said, let that slide, don't do it again.
So it's first down and 10 across midfield, right at the 49-yard line. Tip the ball's right there. Simley comes in near side of the field. Far side of the field, Apana, and next to him is Gibbons. First down and 10 for the Eagles. Throw it over, just over the hands of Apana. Just a little too much speed on the ball. Second down for the Eagles. 16-7 here in the second quarter. Eagles got on the board first. Hornets countered with a field goal. Hayden Lara brings them out. Caldera, the running back. Hornets almost jump. They throw to Caldera. Caldera gets back to the line of scrimmage. It is met by a pair of Hornets. So I guess that would be like a nest, a flock, a gaggle. Brings up third down and 10 at the 49. Caldera in it, running back. Gibbons goes to the far side of the field. Simley comes in near side of the field. Lara goes back. Look at a crossing pattern. There's no one there. They wanted a flag on the play as Gibbons goes down.
And there's no reason for the flag on the play because the defensive player has a right to that ball, and he was going after it for a pick. That's just good aggressive play.
So that's going to bring up a fourth down. So Jeremy Gonzalez is going to stand at the 10. Blocked and down right at the 38-yard line.
Nick Doan with the block, and he just smothered it, took it right off the foot of the punter. An impressive rush. They've been close in this first half and finally got one. And you were talking to one of the coaches earlier today, and they were talking about how well their special teams is played.
Yeah, and all aspects of it.
Hornets come back out with their starting offensive line.
First down and 10. They run a reverse. Flea flicker to Nunez. Down the middle of the field. Short.
And he rushed it. He rushed it. He was looking for Austin Levias. And it was well played by Mount San Jacinto. There was nowhere really to go. It would have had to been a great throw in time. And the Eagles were not fooled.
So it'll bring up a second down and 10 at the 38. Nunez comes in. Boxhagen at the far side of the field. Throw it over here. Nice little flat pass taken by Garnett Davis III. You can see where they mark him out of bounds at. So just short of the 35. Now they're going to back it up a little. So now they're going to put it at the 37. So maybe a 6-inch gain on that. Third down. Garnett Davis in the backfield. Nunez looks things over. Here comes the pressure. Nunez steps into it, overthrows the receiver. Just looks a little off today throwing the football.
Yeah, and you and Ryan mentioned something during the College of the Canyons game about aiming his throws, and that one did look aimed. Looked aimed. Wasn't on target.
So Garrett Campbell says, you know what? Leave everybody out there. C.J. Broy now comes upfield, goes to the far side of the field. Garnett Davis III stays in the backfield. 4th down and 9. Here they come. Nunez looks to throw it there. Thought he had a receiver open. Stewart almost had his hands on it. Defensive play yanks it away.
Ball goes over on down to the Mount Jacinto Eagles.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, Mark, where you like the jerseys, you like the uniforms, but when they ride up, that 5 and 8 can be very similar, and that 3 and 2 is the same, and that 6 and 5 is identical.
Skinner, the deep running back. Lara, the quarterback. 1st down and 10. Throws it out in the flat. Almost picked Corey Neyland. You look at that. Apana turns around, and the defender's right there with the ball.
Ty Milton out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, Central Gwinnett High School. If he stays on his feet, he's got 6.
2nd down and 10. For the Eagles at the 37. Simley comes to the near side of the field. Kretz goes to the far side of the field. Look across the middle. Nobody's there as you throw the football and no receivers looking for it. It's going to be incomplete. 3rd down and 10 for the Eagles.
And Mark, this whole game's been a little bit off. You
I
look
agree.
You look at the flow of the game, and it's been choppy. It's been a little bit skippy. And again, Mount San Jacinto really needs to take advantage of the fact that it has been choppy.
So Lara
Defense, you want the ball
looks
back,
at things. Kretz comes to the near side of the field. They get the Hornets to jump. Free play. Going deep. Floats it up in the middle of the field. Everybody goes for it. If it was picked, it wouldn't have counted because the Hornets jumped.
Quentin Ashford on the stop. And, you know, when you take a look at who jumped for the Hornets, they got 11 players on defense, and the front 7 crossed the line of scrimmage. Makes it a more manageable 3rd down. So instead of 3rd down and 12, you're looking at 3rd down and 6 or 7.
So 3rd down, Corey's going to call 7. I'll stay with him. Mitch Aubrey in the slot to the near side of the field. Standing right there to Kretz. Throw it over. Nobody's in the vicinity of the football. Incomplete pass.
Tita Noir applying the pressure. That's one QBH for him.
So the Eagles can't get anything going. And they'll punt it away with 10:26 to go here in the 2nd quarter. It's the Hornets 16, the Eagles 7 on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Foul at the 20-yard line. Crash Gonzalez.
I want to thank the fans for just dropping off money in the booth. Beautiful spiral, high, deep. Hits at the 5 and goes into the end zone.
So that's 60 yards in the air, a net of 40, and Hornets and the Eagles, Mark, it's been a game.
Yeah, there's a game going on.
Since there's a game, we want to thank everybody for joining us and watching, listening wherever you are, from Oregon to Hawaii.
To the high desert, to the low desert.
To the Guam, Riverside, Georgia, Florida.
Next to me,
and
far
Detroit.
away from me.
Thank you for joining us. We enjoy doing this because what else are we going to do on a Saturday?
Well, a lot of people would probably hope we do something else, but you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Cornely in at quarterback now, so we have a new quarterback. Nathan comes on in. Nathan throws it quickly, and I tell you what, let me throw it to you, Mr. Gonzalez, and whoa, wait a second.
Cornelli, pass intended for Crash Gonzalez. Hey, Cornelli.
Second down and 10. Cornelli looks, hands it off. Hit there, the defense now a little tougher at the line of scrimmage with 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Halalilo makes the stop, so Tavita out, and they do a lot of wholesale substitutions on the defensive side of the ball.
Bakapuna looks over the sidelines and said, wait a minute, that wasn't as easy as the last one. Garnett Davis III comes in. He'll take his opportunity at running back for the Hornets. Stewart goes to the far side of the field. Throws it off to Kristen. Kristen comes down after a gain almost up to the 30. And that should bring up a fourth down for the Hornets, so they'll punt it away.
And Kretz is back deep for the Eagles, and that was an offensive series. It looked like a mashed potatoes that you make sometimes, just blah. No salt, no seasoning.
Kretz waits. Come on off. Kretz signals for a fair catch. Steps up in a crowd of Hornets.
That's about 5 to 6 yards more than last year. So whatever he's done in the offseason has really paid dividends. And working with Austin McGee, former punter here at Fullerton College, has really helped him.
Caldera comes in at running back for the Eagles. Laura still at quarterback. To the near side of the field, Sibley. Caldera gets maybe a yard if he's lucky. Not even that when they get done spotting it. Second down and a long 9 for the Eagles.
And we do want to thank our listener who just joined in from Riverside, Mark. Waiting for that new compilation CD.
Kretz comes to the near side of the field. Malik Blackman now is outside him on the near side of the field. They look to go over. Ball is away, batted down. Hornets go track it down just in case. It's going to be third down and a long 9.
So Neesmith again making a play. CJ doing a good job out there. Last year got some time. This year, he's one of those guys on the defensive side of the ball who will start at every other community college in California. Here at Fullerton, he gets plenty of playing time, but not the starting spot. They've got about 8 players on that line who can start anywhere.
Kretz comes in near side of the field with Blackman. Caldera running back. Big third down. Caldera comes out of the backfield. They give it to him. He catches it, turns, heads upfield, gets just to the 50-yard line, but that's going to leave him short. Brings up a fourth down for the Eagles. Let's see what they do.
In Fullerton territory, you look like you want to go for it to try to get some momentum going for your team. But it looks like they're going to bring out the special teams and kick it away.
So with 7:32, well, it's sort of back and forth, forth and back. Gonzalez will stand at the 10 for the Hornets with 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Another boomer, high, caught, drop, ball comes out. Who comes away with it? What an opportune time to jump on a football. If you were Mount San Jacinto, 2 down there, somebody should have grabbed him by the ankle and held on tight.
And that's the season they're having. Just it hasn't gone their way against Moore Park. It was that situation that things didn't go their way to complete a comeback victory. And I like how you mentioned your compilation CD and 3 songs that you mentioned by Cameo Aaliyah and the Wu-Tang Clan. That would be a good compilation.
Nunez comes out. Garnett Davis III at running back. The Hornets, well, they need that little smooth drive down the field right about now. Nunez says, let me find it, goes to C.J. Broy. Broy catches his first pass of the day.
4th catch of the season, and it's a player that you think we'll see more as this season goes by, making more plays as C.J. Broy. And do you think Garnett Davis III will have some success on this drive like Vakopuna did a few drives before?
2nd down and 1 for the Hornets. Garnett Davis III steps over defender on the ground, gets across the 25 out to about the 27. Move the chains for the Hornets.
Good pickup of 8. And that's Kuni Pa'u coming out now. He made the stop. And Eagles playing pretty good defense in this first half of play.
Nunez speeds it up, fakes it, goes across the middle of the field, in and out of the hands, and Gonzalez just cannot pull that one in.
And he had him. Going to get Nunez on that one again. He overshot him. If he throws it a little bit more down because he had to come up too much, that's going to be an easy first down.
Cameron Woods now comes in the game. Big tight end, a little quiet. Jeremy Gonzalez goes up far side. Handed straight up the middle. Smothering. You know, that looks like a little chicken and gravy going on there. You get the meat, you put a little white gravy on it with those white uniforms. Gain of 3 on the play as Vakopuna gets a gain of 3.
That's Jonas Sellers.
Nunez goes back, sidearms it, incomplete pass.
And that's on Cameron because he was running before he had it. He knew he had open space, and if he makes that catch, he's going to be tackled, but still, got to make that catch, move the change, and that's just change. And that's just one of those things that it's been inadequate in this first half.
So, Brett's back. Signals for a fair catch, steps up at the 38 and makes it. It'll be 1st down and 10 with 5 minutes and 17 seconds here in the first half at Hal Scherbeck Field. It's the Hornets 16, the Eagles 7 on Sportsnet USA.net.
34 yards on the kick. Hale is on the defensive side of the ball for the Hornets. 90 in gray. Crawford 95, Harris 92, and 99 Ryan Alamo. 24 you see is Chris Harm. 23 is Jeremiah McNeely. 28 the other linebacker will be Jeremy Naborn. We'll get that secondary in just a moment.
Caldera comes out wide in the slot. Simley. Now Caldera goes in motion from left to right. They throw it out in the flat. He needs a block with a little speed. gets across the 40. They're going to mark him out at the 41, closer to the 42.
Thaddeus Jones, the new safety in, along with Kadari Kearns. Near side corner, Quentin Ashford. Q is having a good season thus far, and 22 on the other side is Jordan Little. That's your Hornet defense.
Simley and Caldera, the far side of the field. Malik Blackman, the near side of the field. Second down along 7. Throw it over here in the flat, taken there by Apana. He's got no place to go, and then yanked down and said, "You're not going out tonight, young man. You're staying at home."
Excellent pursuit and happiness given by Jordan Little, excuse me, that's Naborn, who makes a stop, but Quentin Ashford made him stop, redirect, wait for his team, and Naborn out of Centennial High School.
Third down and 7 for the Eagles. Well, they started out well. Got a touchdown. The last 16 points put up are by your Hornets here on SportsNetUSA.net. Big third down. Here come the Hornets. Quarterback says, "Help me, mama," and drops the football.
And exactly what he said, because he saw the blitz coming. He looked up. The ball is snapped. The ball is on the ground. And Hayden Lara is having trouble. Chris Harm slapping himself on the helmet because he knew he should have had a fumble recovery.
So it brings up fourth down for Casey Mazzotta's team. Probably thought, you know what? We scored first. Could be a change of the day. Then he woke up from his nap and realized, whoops, it's the Hornets. Kicked away from Gonzalez. Goes out at the 21-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 20.
And Mark, even though it's a 16-7 lead, you don't feel good about the way the first half has been played for the Hornets.
No, you don't. And if you're Casey, you feel bad, but you feel not that bad.
I think you're going to feel we should have more.
Yeah, okay. There we go. I was going to say you can't really feel good if you're Casey, but you can't feel bad.
Yeah, you can, because you should have more.
Okay.
We can have more. The way we've been playing, the field position that we've had, we just haven't been able to execute like we should.
But they haven't scored over 13 points a game. I mean, they're just not there. Ball thrown up. Should have, Corey Neyland, I'm going to say should have been picked.
Again,
am I getting picky on that
what
one?
could have been? They scored 26 points last week against Moore Park, but they were trying to come back. Moore Park played a good game. Mount San Jacinto didn't play their best, and they take a defeat. Here, they're trying to expand on that and grow on that positive that they saw, but they just haven't gotten the breaks.
Garnett Davis comes back in at running back. Leland Smith goes to the far side of the field. Second down and 10 at the 20. Nunez keeps it himself, goes up the middle, gets a gain of 5 on the play, maybe 6. They're going to mark him down at the 25. So it's going to bring up a third down and 5 for the Hornets. Austin Levias to the near side of the field. Garnett Davis looks things at the running back. Nunez goes back, flips, turnaround, pitch and catch. Going down the sidelines. They're going to say step out of bounds. So Smith goes down the sidelines, tippy toe.
So 17 yards, and that ball was out of Nunez's hands before he made his cut.
First down.
Nunez goes back, feels pressure, sidesteps, gives him a waste, flag on the play, right at the 38-yard line.
So this gain of 3 is coming back.
2 minutes to go here on SportsNetUSA.net. So they're going to move it back on the Hornets with 1:56 to go. Move it back 10 yards. Second down and 20 for the Hornets with 2 minutes to go. Nunez looks things over. Hasn't been smooth today. Levias to the near side of the field, and we get timeout on the field. With timeout on the field, 1 minute, 56 seconds to go. It's the Hornets 16, the Eagles 7 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So if you're Casey, Minnesota, you go in at halftime. Let's say it ends down by 9. Is it a rah-rah speech? Hey, we were in this entire first half. All we needed was a break or two when you preach to the Eagles.
You say all we needed was a break or two. We're in this. We still got it. Our defense is playing well. Our offense needs to get that one play that we've been looking for all season, and they can turn this game around.
And if you're the Hornets?
Oh, it's ugly.
That'll be the speech from Garrett. Oh, it's ugly?
Oshklavi.
Oh, there we go. Gabby Neyland's coming in
Ne
to give the halftime speech.
Ne dobra hara. Ne dobry.
Nunez with Garnett Davis III right next to him, saying, hey, we got to do something right. Haven't found anything to do yet. Garnett Davis III gets hit, looks to find another place to go through, drops his head, drives the defender out of the way at the 41.
And when Fullerton gets this run and attack where they really want it to be, it's going to be fantastic with Vakapuna and Davis III.
C.J. Broy to the far side of the field. Fox Hagen to the slot on the far side of the field. Gonzalez on the near side of the field. Nunez goes back looking for protection. Steps up, gets hit, gets it off on a wobbler, but a nice comeback route by Stewart, who makes the catch.
And now you call the late hit on an offensive lineman, Andrew Sanders II, against Ali Bajabiamila.
One of two sons that play for this team.
So out comes Sanders II after a play that was made out of nothing. It was well coached on the defensive side of the ball. As they know, Nunez likes to step up. Fowler was there, throws the ball up for Stewart, which was a positive play. Good defense, a little bit better offense. Sanders II, costly mistake, backs it up, and it's still second down, or should be second down.
If it was after the play, if they called the play
After the
completed,
play, then it should be third
it should
down.
be third down, which it is, because the play was completed. So it's a dead ball. Technically, it's a dead ball foul.
Okay.
Nunez grabs it, going deep, looks, should be picked, isn't picked by the Eagles.
Stewart did a nice job of playing defensive back as Tyler Martin was there for the pick, had his hands on it. Stewart slapped it away.
So 1 minute, 7 seconds. Here in a slow trotting game on Sportsnet, USA.net. You think there would be mud on the field, but it's a nice hot day. Almost blocked. Signaled for a fair catch. Caught right there at the 38-yard line. So we got a minute to go in the first half. On SportsNetUSA.net, Corey, Ryan, the old guy. The booth is filled. Handsome men to the left of me. Older men to the right of me. And I'm in the middle. See if the Eagles could find a little miracle, Corey, if they could get on the board with a minute to go. It would be special. Lackman. Kretz on the far side of the field. Caldera, the running back. Looks for call across the middle. Pick right there on a beautiful step back And Corey, they threw it where there was only one color jersey could catch it.
And that's Mason LaSorsa on the pick. And if we're wrong about that, they'll let us know.
So there, the defense of Brian Crook steps up. And with 53 seconds to go, let's see what they bring out.
So did you get that, Mark? Mohammed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Toby Schmidt now in at quarterback for the Hornets. Goes back, feels it, shreds one person, running for his life, throws it downfield, incomplete pass.
Toby Schmidt. Schmidt pass intended for Crash Gonzalez, incomplete. Second
Greg Jackson, the injured Eagle.
So we have a timeout on the field. Player down for Mount St. Jacinto.
So Mark Mohammed Hasuna makes the interception, his first of the season. He was going to get the start today. The other 12 o'clock game was East LA and Golden West. East LA 10, Golden West 7. And that is at the end of the second, so at halftime, 10-7 lead for the Huskies.
You know what's wrong with the Rustlers this year?
Karma?
Rashawn Haylock, not there.
That's what I said,
Going-
Karma?
Yeah. Going, go Rustlers. You got to say Rustlers, right, too. It's not Rustlers. It's
Wait,
it
don't
gets-
do it. Don't do it. Only Rashawn can do it.
Ryan Osborn could do it. He was there long enough with Rashawn Haylock.
We have something for you. Come on in.
Hey,
What, no reward?
you still have your $20 in there too.
You need to pick up your laundry.
I'm just checking to make sure I still got my wallet. You guys have quick hands up here. Second down for the Hornets. Garnett Davis III off a right tackle, gets a couple.
Stacked up Jahai Osuna. Jonah Sellers also in there on the stop.
Gets a gain of 1 on the play. So we get timeout on the field with 36 seconds to go.
Down 3, yards to go, 9.
ROTC stand in front of us down on the field.
Home timeouts left, 2.
So other scores just starting in NoCal. Diablo Valley, Reedley, no score. Compton, Glendale, and SoCal, no score. Riverside, field goal advantage over Palomar in the first quarter. Butte 7-0 over Modesto. LA Valley, West LA, no score, along with American River. And maybe the game of the day, American River versus San Mateo. At halftime, it is scoreless.
Schmidt comes out. Bakapuna as the running back. Third down and a long 9. We get timeout. Eagles. So the Eagles call a timeout here on SportsNetUSA.net. Remember, all our games on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Discount Markets of Fullerton. That's right. Discount Market of Fullerton, located on Raymond between Chapman and Commonwealth. Great turnout for the Hornet game here at Sherbeck Field. And if those are all Casey's people across the way, they travel well.
They do.
They really do. Give them a lot of credit. That's not an easy drive. We've gone out there
Yeah.
to do a game.
No, and if you watch some of their games throughout the last few seasons, they won an American Division Championship a couple years ago. Next year they went to American Division Championship and lost. But they always travel well. They travel well up and down Southern California.
Schmidt brings the team back out. Bacapuno still at running back. There's people throwing things out the booth. Throwing their empty. Guys, trash cans are behind me. Schmidt says, let's throw it on the money. Speaking of trash cans, they can't get it into the trash can himself. 4th down for the Hornets. If the Eagles can make a stop here, it's got to be momentum going in at halftime. Corey's just sort of sitting there going, gee, Mark, you're getting too excited for Casey Mazzotta's team.
I think it's a well-played first half for that defense.
Okay, Bacapuna at running back. Schmidt at quarterback. Big 4th down and 9. Let's see if they come after him. Here they come. They're bringing the pressure. He's running the outside. He's got to curl back. He gets a tip, knocked down. Incomplete pass. Corey Neyland, the pressure was all over him going down the field.
And there was no chance for anything when you roll to your left, you're going to throw to your right, and everybody's doing a 20-yard out, I should say.
I'm sorry, it must be my disease that's on you today.
Yeah, I'm going to calm myself down.
Corey Neyland says to me, Mark, you know what? I'm walking away. I'll be back later. I'm going to get something to drink, maybe a free hot dog. Ryan Osborn, it looks like it's you and I, baby, for the next 22 seconds of this game. 22 seconds left in this half. Lara goes back, throws it in the flat. Caldera gets smothered for a 4-yard loss. And we'll see if Casey just says, that's about it. We get a timeout on the field. So Casey will talk things over with 13.6 seconds left on the clock. It's the Hornets 16, the Eagles 7 on Sportsnet, USA.net. It started off with the Eagles getting outrageous field position and scoring a touchdown. The Hornets went back down the field, kicked a field goal. It was 7-3. Everybody thought that things were going to go well. Hornets got the ball back again. Scored again. So we'll see what Mazzotta wants to do on what could be the last play of this half. Hayden Lara at quarterback. Blackman comes to the near side of the field, along with Apana and Kretz. Caldera in running back. Looking for protection. Rolls out. Looking for somebody to go down. Throws it to the flat. Blackman right on the sidelines. They're going to call it a catch. It's going to be 3rd down and a long 2. Right at the 46. 6 seconds left. So we'll see what happens. We're at 6 seconds, 5.9 to be exact. They flip the power from left to right. See if they'll work it the other way. They've got a long way to go. Flat passes, only stats. Going over the middle. Picked at the 30. People out in front. Turn to the outside. pulled down, hits, steps away, looking for another block. Can anybody get him? No, it looks like it's going to be a return. They try to. Touchdown!
Flag on the 42.
There's a flag on the 42-yard line. And up here in the booth, it looks like it's maybe a PI is what I'm getting told by the gentleman in the booth to my left. They got better eyes than I do. They got better hair than I do. And if you could see the top of their heads, you would find that statement amusing. So we're bringing it back, Ryan Osborn, as a flag on the play, and it should be pass interference. So it will give the Eagles a dead time. I would say it's, you don't call it a dead ball foul, an untimed foul. That they'll get an untimed play because of the foul. So Garrett out there trying to find out how it was against his team. Casey Mazzota thinks it was a beautiful call. They're going to mark it at the 45-yard line. So there is no time on the clock, but because of the penalty, the Eagles will get to run one more play. Look over to Casey. 45. Quarterback comes out. Team says, what are we doing? Kretz to the near side of the field, along with Malik Blackman. Far side of the field is going to be Simley. Caldera in the backfield. Lara gets ready. Throw it into the flat to Caldera. Caldera's got no place to go, and that brings us to the end of the first half. As we come to the end of the first half, it's the Hornets 16, the Eagles 7 on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn on his way over to visit here on SportsNetUSA.net. The voice of the coaches show on KBPK and a member of SportsNetUSA.net. Well, Ryan, it should be hot where you're at. And, you know, hot and a slow game, I don't know. You above temperature?
To say that it's warm would be an understatement. It's hot, it's sticky, it's humid, the sun is out, I'm outside. That's about all I got.
Okay, and that's the positive side of the first half.
You know, one of the things that I was able to talk to the coaches a little bit as everyone's kind of making their way into the offices, into the classrooms, and into the locker rooms for halftime. And one of the things that you hear is, it has certainly been a half.
I'm not sure a half
not
of
a
what.
negative half, not a positive one. It has been a half.
So then I'm going to get it your way because you can bring the positive vibes to us here at halftime and maybe make the second half a much more exciting game here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Sounds like a good idea, Mark, as we get set for this halftime. Once again, my name is Ryan Osborn, joining you live here at the half. And our score is 16-7. The Hornets with a lead over top of Mount San Jacinto at the moment. So when you take a look at the Fullerton College Hornets, we were talking about last week, you look at how Fullerton has been able to really have a lot of success when it comes to facing opponents in the southern section that initially going into the preseason looked like they were going to be juggernauts. You look at College of the Canyons a couple of weeks ago, everyone looked around and said, okay, this is going to be a top 10 opponent. when Fullerton played them? Very simply. Fullerton had a good first half, and in the second half, it didn't really look like too much of a contest. When you take a look at the second half, well, everything played in Fullerton's favor, and the reason being the defense was stifling, the offense was able to get themselves on a roll, and very quickly Fullerton established themselves. Just look at last week. They play against that team over in East LA, the East LA Huskies, and, well, how would we describe it? We'll say dominant and complete. That's how Fullerton College played last week against East LA. Just to recap that really quickly, Fullerton got one of their first shutouts in program recent history since that Moore Park game in 2017. That's when Fullerton went up to Moore Park in the preseason and faced Moore Park. And when you take a look at how Fullerton dominated last week, you look at Fullerton with over 400 yards of total offense. You look at Fullerton with a bunch of takeaways as well. And just looking at the box score in and of itself, you take a look at how the Hornets were able to dominate East LA. We talked about it last week. Offense was good. Defense was great. Special teams was fantastic. They got a punt block, return for a touchdown. They got a field goal block, return for a touchdown. Their returns look good. Kickoff return for over 45 yards. A punt return for over 35 yards. Everything was clicking for the Fullerton College Hornets when it came to last week against East LA. However, you switch it over to this week. To say that the weather outside has been pretty much equal to what you're seeing product-wise on the field, that would be pretty accurate. You could say it's hot outside, it's muggy, it's balmy, it doesn't feel clean, it doesn't feel like a cohesive afternoon. And that's exactly what you're seeing from Fullerton College to this point. You're looking at the Fullerton College Hornets. Very simple. That first half, especially the first couple of drives from Fullerton, just looked choppy. They weren't able to do all that much in terms of total offense. They also gave up a touchdown on the second drive of the game for Mount San Jacinto. And if you're looking at it from Fullerton's perspective, you're watching this game going into this matchup going, okay, Fullerton should be out and away with this game by multiple scores, and it shouldn't really be a contest at the half if you're looking at it from just a strictly on-paper standpoint. I mean, just look at the rankings. College of San Mateo was #1 going into this weekend. Fullerton was #6. Now, of course, going into last weekend, they got bumped back from #5 to #6. But nonetheless, you look at Fullerton and you say, okay, they're the #6 team in the state of California. You take a look on the other side, though. Mount San Jacinto, under Coach Mazzota, has been improving and continuing to show that they're going to start being a powerhouse here in Southern California, but their program is still continuing to build. Corey mentioned the American Division Championship just a little while ago. American Division Championship 2 years ago. They go to the championship game last year, don't end up winning it. They have the caliber to be able to say, okay, this program will be good. But now that they move up to the national division and they face teams like Fullerton, a lot of people on paper go, okay, they're going to be facing the Riversides, the Fullertons. You know, they have a bunch of teams in Southern California like a Palomar, like a Saddleback, like a Ventura, or a Mount Sac that they'll have to face. How's it going to go for Mount San Jacinto? And on paper, it didn't look like this game was going to be close, but very different when you're looking at it in effect so far. So, quick recap of this last week's rankings going into this Saturday. College of San Mateo, 3-0, almost a unanimous ranking at #1. Riverside City College with 1 first-place vote. They were 3-0 as well. Mount Sac slots in at #3, so another Southern California team there. City College of San Francisco is 3-0, and American River is also 3-0. American River had a nice little jump from last week. They had a top 10 victory, and it allowed them to jump from #7 up to #5. And that #5 spot previously held by the Fullerton College Hornets, they bumped them down to #6 because of how well American River has been playing as of late. Fullerton is at #6, as we mentioned previously, with Citrus right behind them having one of the bigger jumps in the top 20. Because you look at Citrus, last year they were undefeated. This year they're 3-0. And you're starting to look at Citrus and say, okay, this isn't just a team that was good in the American Division. This is a good program. Because that 3-0 record, they have been dominant to say the least. Citrus actually has the longest active winning streak in the state of California. They're coming up on 18 wins in a row if they are able to continue the way that they are playing at the current time. When you take a quick little peek at the back half of the top 10, Golden West, Butte, and Cerritos, that's 8, 9, and 10. Each one of those teams sitting at 2-1. And then the next undefeated team in the rankings is at 13 with Contra Costa. So, we were talking about the rankings, but you have to also look at what the scores are around the state of California. Corey mentioned it earlier. There's a game of the week, you could say, here on a Saturday in California, and it's going on up north. Top 5 teams will be playing each other in American River and San Mateo. That game ended up just getting kicked off a couple of minutes ago. San Mateo and American River are both tied at 0 with just about 10 minutes left in the first quarter. So just underway, San Mateo and American River, and that's a game that Fullerton wants to watch if they want to stay in the top 5, top 6 in the CCCAA. Why, you ask? Because once again, American River bounced Fullerton out of the top 5 to number 6. If one of those two teams loses in a decisive fashion, you're going to see Fullerton, with a win, get themselves popping into the top 5 once again. But, again, when you take a look at this game, it didn't look initially like Fullerton was going to have any issues going into this matchup. So the assumption was, if one of those two teams, in San Mateo and American River, end up losing their matchup, Fullerton would just kind of pop their way up into the top 5. But the way that Fullerton has struggled in this one kind of changes how that perspective ends up going. We continue with the out-of-town scoreboard. Butte with 7 points to Modesto's 0. They're about to finish off the first quarter of play. Up north, Butte is actually celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their 2013 championship team, which, of course, the Fullerton College program does know well. That was the Fullerton College team that goes up to Northern California and ends up losing to Butte in that national championship game 10 years ago. But Butte ends up getting a victory there. So Butte gets a championship victory there here in the booth. Things all hectic as people going in and out, but Butte currently 7-0 lead over top of Modesto. Riverside and Palomar. Palomar actually doing pretty well of holding Riverside to just 3 points in the first quarter of play. They're finishing up the first there at Escondido High School. And Palomar, of course, the Comets will be here in the city of Fullerton playing in the Blue Gold game coming up later on this season. But Riverside only 3 points to Palomar's 0 as they finish up the first quarter play. Interesting because you look at how Riverside has played so far this season. It doesn't have that same dominant feeling that you get from Riverside in recent memory. I mean, just take a look at last year, right? In Southern California, Riverside looked like they were just an uncontested foe going up to the championship game in College of San Mateo. But you look at this year, they have been down by multiple scores in 3 different games. This is now their 4th overall, but in 3 of those 4 matchups, they have been down by multiple scores and had to come back in their games. In this one, they're down, they're up 3-0, just finishing up the first quarter of play. Elsewhere in Southern California, Glendale and Compton, that's a 7-0 lead for Glendale over top of Compton with 8:59 left to go in the second quarter there. Siskiyous and Yuba, that one kicked off at 1, and it is 7-0. Siskiyous with a lead over top of Yuba. As we are at the half here in Fullerton, in a very hot, humid, and ugly day, as Mark and Corey have been able to describe for you. Current moment, it's Fullerton 16, Mount San Jacinto 7. Update of what you're looking at stats-wise and a quick little recap. Mount San Jacinto got on the board first. A 4-yard touchdown pass from Hayden Lara made it 7-0 Mount San Jacinto. And remember, Fullerton got the ball first and went 3 and out. Then Mount San Jacinto gets the ball. They get a chance to march themselves down the field in 2 minutes and 53 seconds. They get a 6-play, 13-yard drive in total and find themselves into the end zone. Fullerton gets themselves on the board with 9:10 left to go in the first half, or excuse me, in the first quarter of play, as Jonathan Faubert 30-yard field goal attempt was good. 6-play, 51-yard drive and 158 for Fullerton. Remember, that also included a 43-yard grab on that far sideline. Mount San Jacinto found themselves giving up the lead with 1:19 left to go in the first, as most of the action in terms of scoring for both these two squads happened in the first quarter of play, as Elvis Vakapuna with a 1-yard touchdown run on the right side of the field got Fullerton the lead, and so far it has stayed that way with a 10-7 Fullerton 3-point advantage. As we're going to end up having some guests in the booth. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Ryan Osborn. Over to my left, some guests here in the booth. And I'm going to keep doing halftime. So just a moment ago, we were talking about how the scoring update happened. But Michael Vakapuna, 1-yard run, got Fullerton the lead, 10-7. And then Fullerton 16-7. They get a 42-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Nunez to Christian Stewart. And Fullerton has kept that 16-7 lead the entirety of the time. Now, the question is, how does Fullerton gather themselves in the second half? How do they improve themselves? Because plain and simple, Fullerton hasn't looked clean. They haven't looked cohesive, and choppy was a word used earlier, but you can also look at this team and say they haven't really hit a stride at all. They haven't hit a rhythm at all. 11 first downs to Fullerton's credit, 7 of them in the air, 4 of them on the ground, but they're only 3 of 11 in terms of third down efficiency, which is very different than what we've seen from Fullerton in the last 3 weeks. You go to just last week against East LA, at halftime, Fullerton was sitting at 83% on third down conversions. And tonight, or excuse me, I should say this afternoon, they are 27% on 3 of 11. Fourth down efficiency, Fullerton has gone for it 4 different times. They're only 1 of 4. On the other side for Mount San Jacinto, third down efficiency, 36% on 4 of 11, and they have not gone for it on fourth down to this point. Total yardage for Fullerton, on the surface, it looks pretty good. 284 total yards offensively in the first half of play, compared to Mount San Jacinto's just 57. 211 yards in the air for Fullerton College. A lot of those coming from Brandon Nunez, because he's looked pretty good in this matchup in terms of putting the ball in the air and allowing for his receivers to go out and catch the football. But you have to look at it as, yes, you're getting all this yardage, but Fullerton hasn't been able to get scores out of it, which has been the issue. Rushing yards so far for both of these two teams, you're looking at just a shade under 70 for Fullerton. Actually, they're going to give him 73, or excuse me, give the team 73 total. And on the other side for Mount San Jacinto, it is 8. 1 interception for Fullerton. Time of possession, 16-10 for Fullerton. And on the other side for Mount San Jacinto, it's 13-50. Individual leaders, Brandon Nunez, 7 for 19, 156 with 1 touchdown. Garrett Larson, 3 for 3, 46 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And then Nathan Cornely, 1 for 2 with 9 yards in total, no touchdowns, no picks. Hayden Lara, 13 of 22 for 49 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And it's interesting to see that stat line, too, because once again, 13 of 22. He's been putting the ball in the air a lot, but they're not really getting that much yardage out of it because Fullerton's defense has come up large and kept those big plays to a minimum. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they only have 1 play of over 15 yards, and that was actually a toss to Matthew Caldera, where he had a long of 17. Other than that, it has all been underneath 15 yards. And the way you interpret it is you go, okay, Fullerton, let's see. They're leading in overall yardage, 284 to just about 57. They're leading in rushing, 73 to 8. They're leading in passing, 211 to 49. How come the scoring isn't there? How come the Fullerton College Titans aren't looking at this matchup and going, okay, it's 50-0 at halftime? That's because the defense for Mount San Jacinto overall has been pretty good in getting stops when they truly need it. You're seeing Fullerton get these big plays, 15, 17, 19 yards. However, they can't get the extra first down when they really need it inside the red zone. You look at Fullerton earlier where they had to kick the field goal. They had 3 different chances inside the red zone to get a first down and just couldn't get themselves across the line and get the chains to move. And it forces Fullerton to end up kicking the ball. When you look at this offense, they are gaining big yardage in the middle of the field, but they just aren't able to look that clean inside the red zone. We'll see how that changes here in the second half of play. But to this point, Fullerton gaining a lot of ground, but just not where they need it. And that's going to be a big-time question. So coming up in just a little, we'll see how that changes as we continue with the individual stats. Elvis Vakapuna, 12 attempts, 51 yards, a long of 16, and 1 touchdown. Mark Pavlovich over to my left called it earlier. Elvis Vakapuna, it looked like on the first drive they were just going to keep feeding him and feeding him and feeding him. He had nearly 50 yards on the first drive alone, or excuse me, the second drive alone. And one thing that's interesting about that is you look at the style of runner he is. Going into contact, going up to the line, deciding to go into linebackers, and he was just plowing through guys. But then the Mount San Jacinto defense adjusts. And Mark, you know Coach Mazzota more than anyone else in this booth. You see his defense continually make small adjustments, and yes, they'll give up the big play, but right where they need to be stingy, they have stopped Fullerton each and every time.
Well, yeah, and that's interesting. Ryan, I'm going to say it the way it is. Is it because Mount San Jacinto has brought it up a step, or you've been out here for all the games, you do the coaches show, you're out at the field every week for practice. Is this just a hangover from last week's game when you look at this Fullerton team?
You know, I think so, just a little bit. One of the stats that actually got to me just a few moments ago was Brandon Nunez, 7 for 19, 156. The yardage is there, the touchdown is there, but it's a combination of he had a couple of overthrows that we saw, but also his receivers also aren't grabbing the ball the way that they were last week. You were calling it out. The receivers, if the ball was in their general vicinity, it was going to stick to them last week. This week, he's putting the ball near them, but it's going off their hands, and they're not able to get those first downs in the air the way that they were against East LA.
Yeah, and let's just be realistic, too. If it wasn't for special teams again, this might be a different football game.
Well, you can take 6 points off the board if it wasn't for special teams, because remember, they've had 2 different times where they've had heavy pressure on a punt. They end up getting a block, turn it into 6, and you take 6 points off the board, you're looking at it as 10-7 going into the half between the number 6 team in the state of California and I believe number 15 ranked nationally for Fullerton, taking on a team that isn't ranked. A team that has had a little bit of a struggle going into this matchup. And yes, it's not where everyone thought this game would be, but you're looking at this offense, you're looking at this defense for Fullerton and saying if the special teams is the best unit on the field right now, that's a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, and let's be realistic. You, Corey, and I were happy faces last week. And yes, we did all say, oh, you know what? Should we get too excited about this football team? All 3 of us, right? And then what happened? We see what happened, and our excitement is where it was. So I'm going to reassess the team. If they don't come out and smash them, do we start looking and saying maybe you, Ryan, Corey, and I should pull this back a little?
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that, Mark, because it is something that you look at and you go, okay, if they don't come out of halftime and say, we are the Fullerton College Hornets, the team that beat East LA 51-0 last week and went to the Southern California Championship last year, we're going to assert ourselves in the second half. You start looking at the future a little bit. You don't want to, but it's in the back of your mind. Okay, if this is how they play against an unranked opponent, how are they going to look in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
How are they going to look in that homecoming game? How are they going to look in that blue-gold game? And especially the last 2 weeks of the season where they're on the road against those, we'll say, historic foes in Riverside and Saddleback. You don't want to think about it, but it starts to creep into the mind.
Yeah, it sure does. Don't forget to go to KBPK and watch the Coaches Show every week with Ryan Osborn. You will hear about every sport on this campus. So if you're there at home and say, I love when you guys talk about sports, make sure you watch the Coaches Show on KBPK because Ryan Osborn, the host, will let you know about every team on this campus. But now let's get back to SportsNetUSA.net for a little second half of community college football on SportsNetUSA.net as the Hornets are up 16-7 over Mount San Jacinto on SportsNetUSA.net. Mount San Jacinto deferred, so they will get the ball to start off this second half, only trailing by 9. Blackman catches it at the 20. Gets up to the 25, maybe the 26. They're going to call him down there. Familiar voice, face, spirit of the past. Corey Neyland back in the booth with me here on SportsNetUSA.net. So we'll see if Caldera can find a little running room. See if Simley can catch a ball going downfield. Zach Zella in at quarterback. Zella, quick pitch, first throw of the game, it is picked. Corey Neyland points and says, new quarterback. Corey Neyland, I guess you jinxed that young man.
Nah, how do you jinx a young man when you say new quarterback? He's the new quarterback in the ball game, first ball throwing, and Ty Milton says, yeah, that's mine.
Well, Ryan Osborn, I know you're not up with me at this stage of the game normally, but I guess you sort of shamed him into stepping up in this second half. The Hornets come out. Nunez goes back, flips it. A little delayed across the. So it'll be 2nd and 4 on the 6. Nunez comes back out. Looking to go again. The Hornets. Garnett Davis III in the backfield. Nunez throws back shoulder, incomplete. We get a flag on the play. Should be pass interference against the Eagles. We'll see if that's what's called. Now, I have two officials sitting to my left. I wish I had a microphone because I heard here in the booth down the way, he didn't turn around. There is no rule that says you must turn around or it'll be pass interference. That is not the way the rule is written, the way I understand it. 1st and goal for the Hornets from the 3. I formation. Nunez rolls out, throws across, touchdown. So the Hornets come out and get that big touchdown after a turnover. Corey, it looked like for a second they weren't going to get it. Then they came back up after that pass interference call and came back with a pass play and got that touchdown. Big touchdown because Ryan and I were talking about if they were stagnated, then you start wondering, who is this team after a 51-0 victory last week? Ball is spotted, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 14:09 to go, It's now the Hornets 23, Mount San Jacinto 7 on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Ye of little faith. It wasn't a matter of identity. I just think it was a matter of sputtering and not able to get on track in that first half. I mean, they didn't play well, to say the least. And so now with this first drive, after the rough draft of the first half, they're getting back to where they need to be. Mount San Jacinto, Mark, started the first half the way they needed to, and Fullerton starts the second half the way they needed to.
Caldera and Blackman. Back deep. So Casey comes out with a new quarterback. First throw, pick. Blackman grabs it off his ankles. Goes to the far side of the field. Tries to turn, gets across the 20, and that's where it'll be.
And let's see if the Eagles come back with Zella. That's his third interception this season. Coming into that throw, he was 29 of 91. Or excuse me, 11 of 29 for 91 yards. So Fullerton, Chris Harm, Jeremiah McNeely, and Branson Tita-Noir are the backers. Harris, Hill, Crawford, and Torres up front. Milton, who got the pick, and Little are the corners. Bermudez and Kearns are the safeties.
Zella comes back out at quarterback for the Eagles. Throws a pick. Throws it again this time. This time, he finds it, and it goes to Kretz, who makes the catch. So he throws a pick. Corey comes out for a second throw. I like Casey Mazzota saying, young man, go ahead, air it out, and completes that second pass of the game.
Yeah, it gives him confidence.
Blackman comes out. On the outside of him is going to be Mitch Aubry. Handed off to Caldera. Caldera off left tackle. No place to go. Loss on the play.
So lazy weekend days are really reserved for Sunday. It's been a lazy Saturday afternoon here at Sherbeck Field, the stadium on the campus of Fullerton College.
Asked Ryan Osborn how his day was going. He said hot, hot, and maybe hotter on sportsnetusa.net. Big third down for the Eagles. They've got to find something. Here comes the pressure. Throw it across the middle. A missed tackle, and then an ankle tackle, Corey, on Apana. When he got that first one missed, I thought he was off and running.
Yeah, Bermudez submarine with his head down, not looking, trying to make a big highlight play, and whiffed. And there was Tita-Noir, who cleans it up. Who Branson should have been the defensive player of the week last week in the SCFA.
And was not.
No, he was not. They're going to have to clean that up. They're going to have an American Division Players of the Year and National Division.
Ashford. And we're going to get a flag against the Hornets.
And that will be roughing.
Well, even if it was running into it, would be enough for a first.
Yeah. Running into is 5 yards, roughing is 15. But yeah, Mark, they're going to have to separate the divisions again in American Player of the Week and National Player of the Week, because just that competition level is different. So you, like a coach was saying, you may have racked up 300 yards rushing, but who was your opponent? So Branson, he should have been. Well, he was the Sportsnet USA.net Defensive Player of the Week last week.
That he was. So that's going to move the ball all the way out to the 46. First down and 10 for the Eagles. The Eagles looking for some answer to start this third. Caldera takes it off the left side, gets a gain of 5. Oh, they're going to mark it right at the 50. That'd be a gain of 4 on the play. Second down and 4 for the Eagles. Looking to get something going. If they could answer here, get back in the game. Zella feels him coming. Here's the pressure, and he walks into it and gets sacked for about a 9-yard loss.
McNeely and Torres, he had nowhere to go. I mean, it's one thing when you get a rush. It's another thing when you engulf the offensive line and the quarterback.
So it's going to move it back. It's going to be 3rd down and 14 for the Eagles at the 43. Blackman comes in near side of the field. Looking for something. Caldera still in the backfield. It's got to make a block. They almost jump. Will almost get motion. They run a screen. Caldera turns the corner. Has to get out in front. He's got a blocker there. Stays on his feet. Nice call. Nice play by the Eagles. Big first down.
They pick up 23, and one of those plays that you use against a fast, aggressive defense, slow them down by throwing a screen pass, and you saw the rush in the backfield, and no one was there for Caldera.
So they get him right at the 36. First down and 10. Christian Kurtz goes to the left side of the field. Blackman stays on the near side of the field. Try to get it to him and just can't get it to Malik as it was tipped when it was thrown.
Be so again, one more time. Again, as a linebacker and as a playmaker, he's having a great season thus far. Certainly going to be an all-conference.
Well, he will be if you get the vote.
Yeah, but I'm a homer, remember?
Okay. 2nd down and 10.
6 tackles marked, 2 tackles for loss, and sorry to interrupt.
Look one more time. Hornets look like they want to come up. Here comes the pressure. Got to get it out. They throw it across the middle into a defenseman's hands who says, whoops, I saw the candy bar. It slipped out of my, oh, it hit the ground. Now I can't eat that thing.
And it's that dude one more time. And a pass deflection to go with 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a pass broken up, and a pass deflected.
3rd down and 10. So Zach Zella out of Temecula Valley with a big 3rd down. Caldera stays in the backfield with him. Has to help him out when they come. They walk up again. Here they come, Corey. But worked once, throws it across the middle. Incomplete, pass interference against the Hornets.
So it's on the break on the post when they come up and, grab a little bit of jersey. There's a pass interference or a hold there. Then there's going to be roughing the passer on Carlo Torres in the backfield.
So we've got 2 flags on the field, 1 in the backfield, 1 downfield. So we'll see where they mark it off. We get pass interference against the Hornets. We get personal foul roughing the passer against the Hornets.
After all the laundry is picked up, personal foul against the Fullerton Hornets.
So that'll move it down the field. Should give the Eagles another first down. So it's at the 21.
Eagles ball at the 21-yard line, 1st and 10. Yeah, okay.
So it's all the way down at the 21.
Yeah, he sure got it. Okay.
First and 10 at the 21. So they're moving. Little help by the officials. Little help by the Hornets. They'll take it. Caldera straight up the middle on a great delay handoff as he scampers up the middle.
And no help by the officials. Those were penalties, rightly called. It's going to be 15 yards either way.
Okay, so it's a gain of 6. They're going to say 7, 2nd and 3. 9:35 to go. Casey Mazzota's team, if they can respond here, Casey's going to feel good after that initial pick. And so will the young man Zella. When his first pass gets picked, the Hornets use that for a tie. The pressure comes quickly, Corey, and you like the fact that he saw the pressure coming, took a step through it, even though it was incomplete, didn't get swallowed up by the defenders after him.
And that will work against Fullerton. If they're going to bring 7 on a rush, get that little quick look in. If you've got a tight end, now's the time to use a tight end.
9:12 to go here in the third quarter. Simley goes to the far side of the field. Blackman to the near side of the field. Mitch Aubrey outside of him. Here they come. Throwing to the corner, incomplete pass. And of course, now when you get those flags for a grab or hiss of that, you're going to look for it on a play. No flag. It's going to bring up 4th. And so they're going to settle for an attempt on a field goal. So they're going to mark it at the 20. You add on 10, that makes it a 30-yard attempt here for the Eagles. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and it's no good. So they were down there, Corey. They went for 3, and they walk away with nothing. As Hornet stays up in front, 23-7 here early in the third quarter on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And at halftime, it was East LA 10, Golden West 7. Now in the fourth quarter, about 12 minutes remaining. Golden West 28, East LA 10.
Boy, that game's flying.
Yes, it is. Breedley up north over Diablo Valley 14-7. Glendale shutting out Compton starting the third quarter. And Riverside 17, Palomar 12 with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter.
C.J. Broy to the far side of the field. Cameron Woods at tight end. Nunez, we get a little motion. So that's going to move them back 5 yards.
Brandon Nunez saying,
they're calling signals, is what Nunez is saying.
Yeah.
He did the old chat talk. Said they're chatting out there. Saw the little dummy hands going, like talking to each other. So moves them back 5 yards. First down and 15 for the Hornets on the 15-yard line.
and you know how they've been saying Garnett Davis III is 49 yards away, or 1 carry for 49 yards at least once a game.
Why is there so much shit talking? What's 15 doing? He's asking for the music to be shut off. Oh, is that what it is? He can't focus?
So Brandon Nunez comes out. They shift over. They hand it to Garnett Davis III. Slips on the turf. Does not get back to the original line of scrimmage.
And let's see if Garrett Campbell opens up the playbook a little bit and has a play action fake to his back and then goes deep, because it's going to be wide open if Mount San Jacinto is going to continue to play up front. In the first half, he was 7 of 19 for 156 yards.
Bakapuna comes into the game. Jordan Tate to the near side of the field. Nunez goes across the middle. Ball up in the air, tipped away, and it was up for grabs. The picnic basket was just not taken.
And again, the defense playing stoutly for the Eagles. not much given. And the Hornets, again, just hasn't found that rhythm.
Big third down, Bar Nunez. 3rd and 15. Hand it off, straight up the middle. The little man who can does, and Vakapuna gets another first down.
5'8", 215. Picks up the first down. They needed 15. He gets 17.
They come up. Nunez looks at things and says, Jordan Tate on the near side of the field. Vakapuna stays back there. They hand it off to him again. Goes off right tackle. Gets a gain of 1 on the play.
James Scarce, out of Redlands East. And Redlands makes the stop. And again, short gain. So he's got 70 yards on the day as Vakapuna in 14 carries.
2nd down and 9 for the Hornets, just across the 35. 7:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Nunez goes back, has to step up. He gets eaten alive right at the 30, and there it's going. And Corey, you know he said something because he stepped up and stepped into the defender. The defender did not like what was said, shoves him, and it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against the Eagles.
And so he runs into the sack. He didn't like the way he was taken down, thought he was taken down too roughly. And with the push, like you said, 15 yards. And
so they call a dead ball personal foul. It'll make 1st and 10 at the 45. I tell you what, I see calls like that. That's where you pick up the flag and talk to 2 people and say, one more time, I throw a flag.
yeah, Nunez is Sellers.
Garnett Davis III goes out on a wheel route, but blew a tire on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
I think the tire blown was on the throw.
Big 2nd down for the Hornets. Again, 6:45. And because of a pick, that's why they scored a touchdown in this half. Got great field position. The offense has not looked like they did last week. Nice little flat pass out here in the slot. Speed can beat you almost all the time, as I thought Christian Stewart was going to make it into the end zone.
Yeah, good chase down by the defensive secondary, Maron Hazim. But again, it's a 47-yard pass and catch and run. So nice job by the Hornets.
1st and goal from the 8. Nunez throws a little pitch pass down the middle. Everybody went to the right, Corey, because they thought that's where he was going to go, and you sneak someone out for a touchdown.
That was an old Tim Burns fake punt. The guy's open on the sideline all alone doing nothing. That's how open Cameron Woods was there, because if you've got 10 yards in end zone, deep, 53 yards wide, the closest person was 43 yards away.
That's right. I thought Ryan Osborn was closer to him than anybody else. So ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 6:09 to go, it's now the Hornets 30. The Eagles 7 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ryan Osborn, if I had you up, I'd ask you how you feel. I know Corey Neyland says they sputtered in the first half, but Corey, all of a sudden it looks like they woke up and became alive here in the second half. No?
No. There's still something off about the offense.
Okay.
First 3 games, they were pretty fluid. This week, it's like curdled milk. No, not that bad because you can't drink curls.
No, I was going to say it's like that milk you think was going to change. You know, it gets that funny little flavor, but you still drink it.
No, I don't know. That's milk. I don't drink milk that has a funny flavor.
Wow. It's real milk. It's not almond milk. It's real milk.
It's like that 3-day-old pizza.
Oh, I could eat that.
It's been sitting out on the stove for those 3 days.
Oh, that's no problem. You throw it in the microwave. Fills you up. Then you want more pizza. Blackman takes it up the middle, looks to go, goes to the middle, and gets smothered. Ball comes out. The officials didn't call. They do now call a fumble. Hornets come up with the ball.
Jeremy Naborn, again, he was the second man after Blackman made the first person miss. But he comes, forms tackle, drops the ball for Blackman, and then he drops on the ball to recover the fumble. So he forced the fumble, recovered the fumble.
So special teams, block punt, special teams, a fumble on the kickoff, defense getting a couple picks. So if you looked at one side of the team and said maybe shady, this Gray on the offense, well, I don't know. Brandon Nunez looks like he's trying to make sure those pants are fit, trying to stretch them out there. Maybe it's a uniform malfunction that's been against him all day. First down and 10 for the Hornets after the turnover. It's not Brandon Nunez. One pitch, one catch. That was made by Garrett Larson. Touchdown Hornets.
And again, Jordan Tate goes up high. When you're 6'5" and you catch it at the highest point, the defender is not going to be able to be close to it. Another 6, and now you can say Fullerton is finding. No, it's still an ugly game. They're up.
So they get a turnover. They play one play. They throw it in, and Larson at quarterback gets a touchdown. Ball is spotted. Kick is up. And the kick is good. It's 37-7 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Well, I know a couple guys that said maybe 50 points again this weekend, and then there's a gentleman that was in the high desert who said 50, 50, 50, and he wasn't talking about ice cream bars.
We'll see. I mean, Fullerton, now they seem like they're waking up, but it still hasn't been an efficient game. If they can score on the next 2 possessions, then you can say, okay, second half they found their rhythm, and it's an efficient game.
No more noon starting time. Like Corey Neyland, they all like to sleep in. So Blackman, Caldera back deep. First half looked like the Eagles were going to gnaw on the ankle of a Hornet. Maybe pick their eyes out, as Eagles will do to tiny little bugs. But that has not happened. Caldera lets it hit the ground, fumbles it, drops it, picks it up, looks for a place to go, slithers his way up the sideline. Gets some yardage out of nothing.
It's a nice little 14-yard run back after where it started at the 5 and fumbling.
Don't forget, all our games are brought to you by Discount Markets of Fullerton. Hey, if you're in the area, you're on Raymond, you go past Commonwealth and you're short of Chapman, look to your right, make a U-turn, pull in that driveway, because if you want the best, there's only one place to get it. That's Discount Market of Fullerton. You know, I was just there this morning. Stopped, got a little snack for all of us. Decided that's where I got that ice cold water we've been drinking today here on SportsNetUSA.net. Went in, got the water. It was nice and chilly. Threw it in my ice chest. Yeah. You know? Especially if you're inside the booth. not outside in the sun, that water really helps you out.
We might have to treat Ryan to a drink tonight.
You know what? I had 2 little red cans sitting for him in there. Little ones that I grabbed for him before. He didn't grab either one. I pointed them out to him. I said, make sure you get these. I know how they refresh you. Thrown over the flat. And a double pump, Corey, and that's what happens if you're Zella. You look over, you double pump. You got to get it to the receiver on the second one.
Yeah, and the problem is the receiver wasn't expecting to throw. He was on his own page. The up receiver was on the page. But the deep receiver wasn't ready, didn't turn and look, and that was a play that was well designed because it was open.
So Zella goes back. 2nd down and 10. Eagles looking. Going across the middle. Gets it across the middle, but as soon as it's caught there by Mitch Aubrey, he gets thrown down.
So Diego Diaz is going to get called for a face mask is what the flag says.
And it's not just the casual one, it's the personal foul one, which will mark off 15 yards.
And what was working earlier in the game for Mount San Jacinto was Fullerton was dropping in there too deep. Those crossing patterns were working. Now those crossing patterns are picked up by the backers because the outside receivers hasn't created separation and gotten that ball down the field more than 10 yards.
Zella comes out. 1st down and 10. Right at the 38. Looking to answer somehow. Scott protection. Throws it in the middle, and Corey, when you put it on a receiver's hands, you scramble, you throw it between 2 defenders. That receiver, Malik's got to pull it in.
Yes.
As he drops it and strands his quarterback on a 2nd down and 10, right at the 37.
Don Diaz and Hasune.
2nd down and 10. Zella's looking to see here they come. They do. Once again, throws it on the money, and you've got to make a tackle if you're a Hornet because if Christian Kretz gets away from you, he just keeps rambling down the field.
And that's 27 yards on the pitch and catch, and this time they bring those 3 backers up. They rush the passer. Kretz runs right by them, and the safeties can't come up in time to corral him. Instead of an 8-yard gain, you get a 27-yard gain. Nice job by Zella staying in the pocket and actually delivering.
1st down and 10 at the 37-yard line. So they're down there again, looking like they want to score. Been down there a couple times, have come away with zip. Quick little throw right there. Nice pitch and catch to Mitch Aubrey as Aubrey pulls it in. So it's that dink, that dunk. Maybe another dink here, a dink there, maybe a dink over there. We'll see if that's what they do against this Hornet defense.
And a correction on a scoring update, that American River San Mateo game, that's 0-0. The game hadn't started. Now it's 7-0 San Mateo in the first.
2nd down and 5 for the Eagles. Zella looks over and says, I'm feeling good. The Hornets said, we're going to bring pressure. Quick out, quick throw, sidestep, duck underneath, stay in your feet, crawl down the field. 1st down for the Eagles. Corey Neyland, you've got to love the fact that Apana goes down, keeps his balance, and crawls for a 1st down.
Still battling even though you're down by 30.
3:54 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Simley goes up far side of the field, Apana next to him. Caldera in the backfield. Zella looks over, comes back, has time. Quick set again. This time he tucks it. He's going to run, stays on his feet, runs out of bounds, moving the sticks again for the Eagles.
Extremely smart drive by the Eagles. Again, they're taking what's being given to them. They're not trying to force anything down the field. Again, Fullerton is playing that too deep, so anything in front you can have. Now they're going to play bend, don't break at the 15-yard line. Let's see those safeties creep up and make it more difficult for Zella.
Second down, a long 3 for the Eagles. We'll see what they do on this. Caldera hasn't run it yet on this. We'll see if they hand it off. There it is. It goes to him. He's got the outside. He's got the corner. Can he make it? Touchdown. Mount San Jacinto. So, Corey, I said he hadn't touched it. He finally did, and he brings it home for a touchdown.
15 yards on the run around the right side, and that's the best drive of the season for Mount San Jacinto, and that's what you've come to expect from this team the last 5 years.
So they get it in with 3:23 to go. Staying in the game for Casey Mazzota and his staff. Ball is spotted. Kick is up. Kick is blocked. Goes back to the holder. They called it down.
So it hit the back of his offensive lineman. So credit to the block is going to be Eric Hill. So he was being blocked by that. So we'll give him credit for the blocked extra point attempt.
So special teams again comes up big for the Hornets. 37-13 with 3:23 to go. Here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So the Hornets feeling things in that way of going down the field. We'll see if they'll respond when they get the ball with 3:23 to go. Standing at the 10, Ryan Osborn, Corey Neyland, the old guy. Happy to bring you this game here on SportsNetUSA.net. And over in, that's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. With 3:23, it's your Hornets 37, the Eagles 13 on SportsNetUSA.net.
Ryan Crooks, I'm glad you didn't hear him on the air because he's not happy with his defense. Giving up 7 plays, 81 yards on that drive for the second score.
So Ryan Osborn on the camera. Corey Neyland in the booth. Brandon Nunez comes back out at quarterback. Bakapuna out at running back. First down and 10 for the Hornets at the 25. Let's see if they sort of milk the game right here. They look that direction. They try to go back to CJ Broy on a delayed, I'm going to call it a delayed screen to the end because Vakapuna goes out to the right. He delays on his route. He comes back towards Nunez. Incomplete pass.
Ryan Osborn just said his headsets are off. Listening to the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator talk is going to be much more interesting for him. Brian Crooks, he said, is not happy.
Ryan Osborn deciding, hey, he did soccer last night. I'll just be quiet today. Nunez says, I'll keep it. Turns the corner at the 40. 45, he runs out. See if they mark him at the 50. We got a flag right at the 30 where he ran through. So we'll see who's that against.
Ty Dillon on the outside. He's in that new, or that old Clint Eastwood movie, Fistful of Jersey.
Holding against the Hornets. So the plague that has plagued them so often and brought drought to their mouth is another flag against the Hornets here on SportsNetUSA.net. So they'll mark it at the 30.
Ball is back at the
2nd and 5 on the 30.
So they're going to leave it at the 30. 2nd and 5 for the Hornets. Nunez, who had a nice run, hasn't deleted. Says, well, you know what? Let's hand it off the middle. The defense for the Eagles is there. And Corey, they're closing the hole real fast.
Kalliopa'a was there along with Tavita Halalilo.
Garrett Davis III looking for that run. Nunez rolls out, feels the pressure, throws caught on a comeback. They're going to mark him out at the 41, first down, Hornets.
He was looking up for C.J. Broy, well defended by the backer, so he goes to his third option on that route was Jeremy Gonzalez, who came into the ball game, the team's leading receiver with 11 catches. I believe that's catch number 2 as he comes back favoring his left arm.
First down and 10 for the Hornets at the 41. Nunez going. We're at the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Garnett Davis III. Looks like he's getting steam going, and he gets shut down immediately.
So Garnett Davis at over 40 yards rushing. But again, with these 10 carries, he has a good average. He just, with the split time with Vakapuna and himself, is just a squad that by game number 8 and when you get to the playoff run, they're really going to pay dividends.
So second down and a long 7. They hand it off to Garnett Davis III again. He gets across the 45, maybe up to the 46, gain of 2 on the play. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It's the Hornets 37, the Eagles 13 on SportsNetUSA.net. Hornets coming out, try one more time. Nunez looks it over. Big third down and 5. Nunez trying to find something. Looks at Garnett Davis III. Pulls it down himself. Takes off running. Gets a block. Stays on his feet. Gets driven out of bounds at the 28. They're going to mark it at the 30. First down and 10. So Nunez, who can do what Corey likes, bring it down quickly and run when there's something there. First down and 10 for the Hornets. They come back up again. Nunez goes back, looks across the middle of the field. On the money, looking for a block. Touchdown one more time by Christian Stewart.
What an outstanding catch by Stewart, because the safety read that well. Met Stewart when the ball was delivered. Stewart, great concentration, makes the catch, runs into the end zone for his, that is second touchdown of the season. Yes, it is. And that score is now 43-13.
So we'll see, because there's a couple flags out there.
And this is not your only game on SportsNetUSA.net for football today. We've got Santa Ana hosting Santa Ana Monica. Made you think. Santa Ana versus Santa Monica at 6 p.m. Noah Alvarez on the call there. So negate 6. And that's an unfortunate hold call, because the whole hold was at the 2-yard line.
So as the officials sort of talk it over.
And
So Fullerton now, Corey, is just too many yellow hankies coming their direction. Moving them backwards with 12.3 seconds. It moves it all the way back to the 37-yard line. So holding, dead ball, personal foul, moves it back, and it will be
Still first down.
okay.
So when you're at the 27, it's not first and goal. It'll be first and 7.
That's what they've got it as.
So yeah, because they picked up the first down, back it up, yeah.
So it's at the 27-yard line. First down at the 27. Brings up first down and 7. Nunez goes back. Going deep into the corner. Over the shoulder. Touchdown, Hornets.
And
C.J. Roy.
C.J. Broy. And we said he hasn't been mentioned much this season. But Brandon Nunez says, don't matter if you take away 6, we got to add 6 again. So that equals 43.
So C.J. reels it in. And that was one of the better passes by Nunez this afternoon. And he's thrown a couple pretty passes.
Might want to rephrase that. The best pass he's thrown this
Okay.
afternoon.
Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. 3.4 seconds. Now we're getting close to Corey's age. It's the Hornets 44. The Eagles 13 here on sportsnetusa.net.
I think I look good for 65.
You do, you. I tell everybody when they say, how long have you two been partners? I said, well, Corey went here in 1964. So I'm just making you look even better. They're really surprised to find out that Ryan Osborn's 42. Been married 3 times. All of them ex-cheerleaders.
So around the 3C2A, that scoreboard that you look at sometimes, Allen Hancock over Ventura, 14-6 in the first. San Jose 21, Los Medanos 6. Staying in NorCal, De Anza 14, Hartnell 7.
Blackman goes back, looks to go to the far side of the field, hoping somebody helps him, and he gets strung out and dropped right at the 14.
Jacoa Chanel. No, excuse me, Sean Malcolm.
So it'll be first down and 10. And we're bringing it back. End of the quarter. Thank you. I thought we were I'm so used to them bringing it back today on a play. I figured, what am I doing? I didn't hear one of you yell hanky, but I thought, hey, at the way it's going here, we're coming back. Thank goodness I have bright young men to the left of me, older men to the right of me, and Ryan Osborn all the way out to the far corner on me here on sportsnetusa.net. As we head to the fourth quarter, it's the Hornets 44. The Eagles 13 on sportsnetusa.net. You know what I need to do? Gentlemen, I need to get in my car and go down to Discount Markets because I did not eat enough today. You need to pick me up some snacks, maybe a little more water. I'll take a couple Diet Cokes too because I like them. Do that. Bring that down back to me. And you know what? We could walk out of there with a bill of maybe next to nothing. The property that I want, the price that I want, all of those here at sportsnetusa.net, which is sponsored by Discount Markets of Fullerton between Chapman and Commonwealth on Raymond. They bring these games to you every weekend here on sportsnetusa.net. The Brain Trust has left me one more time. Ryan, away from the cameras. Corey, away from the board. I'm a lonely old man standing in a booth right now here on sportsnetusa.net. Quarterback takes it down, goes straight up the middle, turns, cuts, Nice pickup right there by Zach Zella, who saw the opening and took off running. Like this young man since he's come in, 6'3", 210 pounds, out of Temecula. Went to Temecula Valley on sportsnetusa.net. First down and 10 on the 29. The Bears. Well, being a Packer fan, I usually don't mention that team, so. Throw knocked backwards, incomplete pass. So it's going to bring up a second down. Of course, in my case, it's the Bears, if you're a Packer fan. That's what happens when you're weaned on green and gold. Second down, as the Hornets have found a little pace going here. Ryan Osborn back in the camera. I thought there was, maybe a little trade market going on with him and Corey Neyland. Zach Zella brings it up. Big second down and 10 for Zella. Looks to Caldera. Throws it out in the flat. And now the sure hands of Kristen Kretz has been solid for him in this second half. Looks at Blackman, taps him on the shoulder, says, there we go, we're off and running. Malik saying, throw it to me, man, get it out in the flat. I've got the speed. 13:54 here in the fourth quarter. 44-13. The Hornets are up in this game right now. Big third down and a long 4 for the Eagles. Zella looks things over. The Hornets walk up defensively. Caldera goes out in the flat. Dropped in his hand. Turns the corner. Stays on his feet. First down for the Eagles and Mount San Jacinto. So a quick little flat pass to him. The offensive line picks up the block of the scheme of the defense for the Hornets, and they get that first down. Skinner comes in the game. Haven't seen him much as a running back. He's now in the game. For the Eagles, Skinner goes far to the right. Simley comes to the left. Skinner goes in motion. They fake throwing at Skinner. Taking off, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage was Zach Zella. Gets maybe a half a yard. Second down and 9. They're going to mark him right at the 45. So trying to make the move. Misdirection is what the Eagles are trying to do to the defense for Fullerton. Fullerton staying at home, playing their lanes, and that has been the big stoppage on the outside. Vic Rubio now in the game for the Eagles. Rubio flinches, no flag. They go in this direction. Nice little catch and pitch right there to Aubrey. Aubrey refuses to go down. You're going to mark him at the 48. We have a player down on the field. It's one of the Hornets after a little spin tag. So an official timeout with 11:54 to go here on Sportsnet USA.net. Hornets looking to go 4-0. They were perfect last week, and next thing you know, they dropped in the rankings and everybody else jumped. Of course, most of those teams that jumped in the ranking, Northern California teams. Is there a bias in the CCCAA? Well, if you talk to teams down there in the South, you'll say, yes, there is. And if you talk to alumni from Fullerton, they'll say, yes, there is, here on SportsNetUSA.net. Third down and a long 4, right at midfield for the Eagles. Casey Mazzota, long-time defensive coordinator under Gene Murphy when he was here. He used to come up at the end of every game and do an interview with us here on SportsNetUSA.net. Zella walks in, looks things over. Third down. Zella sees where we're going. Throws out in the flat. Skinner gets it. Tries to get a block. He does. Skinner gets it. Crawls all the way down to the 40. And a little scrum right there at the 48. But a first down for the Eagles. Moving down the field with 11:25 to go. Eagles are flying. They're trying to head to Hotel California, I guess, because they're going in the right direction. First down and 10 at the 40.
Eagles power their way into Hornet territory.
Zach Zella looks over the defense. Gets Skinner to go in motion. Oh, that's not Skinner. Hands it to Skinner, who was in the backfield. He gets stopped for no yardage on the play.
Gashing his way into the backfield for a loss. LeBaron Kennedy Jr.
So second down and 10 for the Eagles here on sportsnetusa.net. Christian Kretz out there, along with Vic Rubio, who comes to the near side of the field. Mitch Aubrey inside him. Kretz, the inside receiver, to the near side of the field. Second down and 11. They go over to Skinner. They've run this before. Everybody downfield makes a block. Skinner gets all the way down to the 35. It'll bring a workable third down for Mount San Jacinto here on sportsnetusa.net. Defense for the Hornets, chugging away, trying to find an answer. Daniel Kletcher, a familiar name out there, linebacker. The Kletcher family has been here for a while at Hornet Country. Simley goes to the far side of the field. Go look at jump. Flag on that on the Hornets. Going deep down the middle of the field, incomplete. It should be against Fullerton. As soon as there was a flinch and a jump, the flag went up. Should be offsides against the Hornets. And that'll be enough for a first down, so let's move the chains. The Eagles have been in a scoring position multiple times in this game today. So if you're a Mount San Jacinto fan, even though the score is a little lopsided right now, you can find solace in the way they have played on the field today. There have been moments they have looked very, very good as a team. Straight off, Caldera straight up the middle. Struggles to get 4 on the play. It's going to bring a second down and 6 with 8:57 to go. The Hornets 44. The Eagles 13 here on sportsnetusa.net. Ryan, Corey, the old guy. Happy to bring you all the games. Speaking of old guys, there's my counterpart, Jerry Padilla, heading down to the field. Jerry and I combined for 287 years here at Fullerton. I won't say who's the older one in that too. Throw it out to Skinner. Skinner catches it. When he turns, there is a group waiting for him. And that's all we can say is that's what the defense has done all day today to these Eagles. Third down and 10 at the 30. 8 minutes exactly here in the fourth quarter. The Hornets up by 31. It's 44-13 here on sportsnetusa.net. Pressure comes. roll out, trying to find something. Throws across the body. And then we get a flag on a late hit. And you're going to get the late hit on a punt. The receiver was there. The ball went behind them. The defender followed through on the play. They're going to say he was unprotected, so it's a personal foul, and therefore that should be marched off against the Hornets. So a defenseless receiver. There is a discussion on the field by the officials. We'll see if they do pick it up or not. So we're waiting for the call. Corey Neyland agrees with, and it is, against the Hornets. Well, unprotected receiver, play went behind him, then he gets hit.
Yeah, not a smart play by the defensive back. If you're looking up and have your head up like a defensive back is supposed to, you have a pick instead of a late hit and first down for Mount San Jacinto.
Conversation is probably about targeting them, yes.
That too. Just because he didn't
interesting.
lead with the crown, that was targeting.
We have two officials to the left of us, and they were saying the discussion might have been targeting on the defender. So get a little motion on the field. You know, it's a little hard to hide when you're in a white jersey. You weigh 350 pounds. You got a big number on your chest. You stand up when you move and wave to your family. And hey, it was me. I did something. Oh, wait a minute. I shouldn't have waved at mom and dad, should I? Okay. Should have pointed at the quarterback and said, dude, you got the count wrong. That's what we do here in sportsnetusa.net. Pointing at each other during the entire game. Corey, Ryan, myself. The Eagles with 7:48 looking to get in. First down at 15. Tried to get it to Skinner, sliding out, and Corey, he could not get out of the backfield to find anything. Flag on the field. And it should be lineman downfield.
Oh, yep. Ineligible downfield.
The old guy shoots and scores.
Everybody gets a bucket once.
Yeah, I tell you, hey, when that blind squirrel finds that net once in a while.
And that was Neesmith who was applying the pressure. CJ.
That's the flag. So when they say ineligible man downfield, it's a lineman wandering a little too far. You know, it's like when you get to the ice cream department and you wander over to you grab it, you put it in your basket, it gets rung up, then you go, where did I buy this? That's just like a lineman wandering downfield. Second down and 20 from the 25. Blackman comes out to the near side of the field. Going over in the corner, look for the turn. Not close, thrown out of bounds. Can't make a play on it with Simley. Had no chance to catch the football.
And you like the play design, though, because you're going down the field because you're going to have to watch out for those quick little outs. Those quick outs will turn into maybe pick sixes. And there's another flag.
Yeah, and the Hornet person turned around. He's got his hands out. It's always that person that turns out and says, I didn't help you with the check because I know you didn't want me to. So maybe that's what the call is on the field.
Justin Smith is coming out. He looks like he's getting a call. Jordan Thompson back in.
So unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. That will be an offsetting penalty on both teams.
So that's what you call an Orson Welles. I'm sorry, that's War of the Worlds, not War of the Words. I'm sorry about that.
So we're at 7:26. The brakes have been put on. We're going downhill. Speed limit says 25. We're doing 5 here on sportsnetusa.net. Big third down and 20 for the Eagles. Zach Zella wants to get out there. Everybody moving on that play. Do the hokey pokey.
So what they're saying is 10:30 in the evening and you're coming from Santa Clarita, you hit the 5 and the 101 at the same time for that downtown traffic, and you're just going to be sitting for a little bit.
All I can say, Ryan Osborn, if this is the game we get at Southwestern, we need to book a room now.
Southwestern next week at 6 o'clock on sportsnetusa.net. We'll be traveling.
Do you think?
Yeah, I did, right? Jeez. I was already homeless.
Here comes the Hornets. Screen K called. Skinner goes to turn, gets hit, and he stays on the turf. Clean hit, Corey Neyland. Young man was going down when he got hit.
Let's hope he's okay. Because he was sliding on the cut, and Jordan Thompson made the hit. And it wasn't a hit that led with the helmet or anything like that. Simply looks like Skinner. Well, we're not going to speculate on anything as we sit at 44-13 in the fourth quarter. 7 minutes remaining. Feels like 17 minutes have gone in the last minute of actual game time, and now the Skinners roll over. Fullerton looking to improve and will improve to 4-0 on the season. Mount San Jacinto will drop to 0-4.
And the Hornets will go 4-0 and drop in the rankings.
Well, that's what happens when you're Fullerton and you win. You win by 50, but then you'll drop one. So they'll win by about 31 here. They'll drop 2 spots because it was only 31.
You know, I'd say Ryan Osborn looks so lonely down at the end through all the glass panels that I look at. I'd say he's looking at the field. Ryan, what is that score of UCLA game? Oh, that's right. He's got no headsets on. He can't even hear me.
No, you can't even hear.
Ah, man, there I am picking on him, and he can't even hear me.
As Skinner sits up. So East LA and Golden West was 28-19. Golden West with the final. In the third quarter, Reedley and Diablo Valley 20-14 Reedley. Halftime, Yuba 34-14 over Siskiyous. Glendale 42, Compton nothing.
Wait a minute, I thought that was the Oregon game you were talking about.
Riverside up 5 at the start of the third over Palomar 24-19. Butte to Modesto, hotly contested matchup, 14-10 in the third.
So fourth down, young man gets up, walks off on his own. We're happy for that. Don't want to see anybody get hurt at any event. Here comes the pressure. And they all met at the quarterback and said, hello. Go ahead, Corey Neyland. You might as well name all of them because they all were on that tackle.
So all of them made the stop.
There you go.
Nick Doan, Daniel Kletcher. Kletcher, familiar name around Fullerton College lore. I mean, talk about no chance. That's like who's getting the last donut and somebody comes in, asks for the last donut, and it's already been taken.
Oh, we know who's getting that. That'll be Scott Giles.
First and last.
Yeah, Scott's the fastest one in the booth. We know that's true between you, Ryan, and myself and Scott. He is the fastest. He still looks like an athlete here on sportsnetusa.net. First down and 10 for the Hornets on the 35. Up and over on a textbook tackle. So Sewell gets flipped around.
Going to go around the scores. Keep going, Mark. LA Valley over West LA 17-6 at half. Second quarter, 4:25 left. San Mateo still a 7-0 lead over American River. 14-14, De Anza and Hartnell. 28-12, San Jose over Los Medanos.
Second down and 10 for the Hornets. They hand it off other direction around the corner. Coaching staff coming in saying, you know what, we're calling it a day earlier. Did you see all the snacks they got on their table? Those guys have 4.5 pounds of sweet tarts. How do you call a game eating that much sugar? Third down and 1 for the Hornets.
Allen Hancock 21, Ventura 12, Mark, and that's in the second quarter.
Straight up the middle. Oh, nice tackle in the backfield as they come in and get to Combe.
So Vincent Perryman out of Chaparral High School.
So that's a 4th down, and the Hornets are going to punt it away. 4:44 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And the rest of the games this evening around the 3C2A.
Long back pedal. Fair catch. They're going to mark that right at the 18. So with 4:13 to go, it's the Hornets 44, the Eagles 13 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Next week, Southwestern, 6 o'clock at night here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, and I, we're leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning. We should leave at 7 o'clock in the morning.
We'll be leaving at 11:30 a.m. And then we'll do our customary stop for lunch, like the audience cares. And we'll just plan out our day, and then we'll go set up and hang out. I'll get the look a couple times, and we'll enjoy.
And we'll be home at 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday.
And yes, we're stopping in San Clemente.
Good deal. Once again, the Eagles says maybe that's where we should be today as we get a pitch and a catch all the way out to the 35. And, you know, Corey, I got to say that I look at Zach Zella. I sort of like what he does at quarterback for this Casey Mazzotta team.
Decisive.
He is. He's very decisive. And he finds people that are open and puts it right there. It's just that the Hornet defense has been, once again, superior to their opponent. Throw it out to the flats. Caldera sidesteps one, gets out there, gets a gain of 4 on the play. And what's nice, the crowds for both the teams, the Hornets and the Eagles, have stuck around today. Second down and long 6.
Again, what else are you going to do on a Saturday? Nothing better.
Zella across the middle, finds the open man, and when he does, he puts it on the money to Apana. And I look for this young guy, Apana, to get no, but Corey, there's just something about me that says he's that little guy that's got speed, and if you can get him out someplace where it's a 1-on-1 foot race, he might be able to beat defenders every time he sees them. First down. Zella goes back, going deep. It's at a man open, off the fingertips, down the sidelines. Simley could not pull it in.
And he had beaten Gamage. Gamage is saying that he grabbed a hold of his face mask to get free. And the officials are like, it's time to go.
2:36 left here in the fourth quarter. The Hornets 44, the Eagles 13 on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland, Ryan Osborn, the old guy here on Sportsnet. Brandon Nunez getting a drink of water, says, my day's done. Throw it out in the flat. Caldera reaches back for a tip pass, pulls it in. Making a play. So you look at Caldera with the hands and how he handled himself well and bringing that one up. Nice play by him. for Mount San Jacinto. We would have loved to have talked to Casey Mazzota. Corey and I grew up. We basically did. We had the fun years at Fullerton here. Gene Murphy. Casey used to be up here after every game and talk what he did or did not do defensively on sportsnetusa.net. Pump fake, step away, take it across the middle. First down should be for Mount San Jacinto.
Let's talk about the coverage for Fullerton. Antoine Johnson Jr., he's the safety. And there was a pump fake on the out. They wanted to bite, wanted Mo Gamage to bite on the pump fake. It was a zone, so Mo let him go. Johnson Jr. played it well, and Zella had nowhere to go.
Well, I thought they were going to give him enough. They just decided to make the old guy wrong one more time. It's going to be 4th down for the Eagles. Quick throw. And the young man said, you know what? Doesn't matter, old guy, I'm on your side. As Christian Kretz catches it, first down. Mount San Jacinto with 1 minute to go here on sportsnetusa.net. Going deep, feels the pressure. Nobody's there. Middle of the field, wide open, sidesteps, trips, goes down, gets all the way down to the 21.
Zilla runs it himself. Quarterback keeper for a first down. Tackled by Antonio Johnson Jr. 23.
First down and 10 at the 23. We get timeout by Mount San Jacinto with 26.6 seconds to go. Everybody next to us is packing up. Crowd's packing up.
What does that say on there? 26.5. 26? Wow. Can we just bring
26.6, excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. See, hey, I love these guys next to me. All of a sudden they realize the old guy got one right. Let's give him credit. Thank goodness I'm not playing quarterback for these teams. I'm 1 for 35 today. But it was a touchdown when I threw it. That's what Mount San Jacinto says right now. Mark, that's what we want. A touchdown to end our game on a positive note. Zella looks back. Pressure comes. Steps up. Across the middle of the field. Just could not get it to Blackman, who was wide open, even more open than Corey Neyland is next to me here on sportsnetusa.net.
20 seconds on the clock.
You know what? If I'd have known it, the coaches are wearing the old Fullerton College coaching jerseys. Second down and 10, 20 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Looking for one. Time across the middle of all alone touchdown. San Jacinto, Mount San Jacinto, Blackman, all by himself, sneaks into the end zone. Corey, wide middle of the field was open. They get it to him. Touchdown for them against the Hornets. If you're Casey Mazzota, end it on a positive note here on sportsnetusa.net. Hornets running 35 guys onto the field. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good. So, the Eagles at least can feel good about the way this game has ended. Not the outcome, but they have a lot of positivity going into next week when they take on their next opponent.
Just shows you that the game is never over. You still have things to work on. You know you're not going to come back from 31 points with 7 minutes to play. But what you do is exactly what they did on that drive. You work on things that it's going to help you, like you said, Mark, for the next game and for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, it's like being at a dinner table and pushing yourself away because, you know, that Boston cream cake has only been half eaten, and you just say, I know I shouldn't touch it anymore because I want to look good.
If you are eating Boston cream cake, Mark, it really doesn't matter if you've already eaten half of it. Might as well eat the other half. I mean,
12 seconds to go. Squib kick, whistle blown. Timeout, Fullerton.
hands team.
Now we know what you're doing. Come on, Casey.
So we got timeout. Pizzota said, hey, I might as well practice it. I may need it in my next game here on sports@usa.net. Well,
Next week, join us and 6 p.m. We'll be at Southwestern. Versus Fullerton. Southwestern is also 0-3 on the season.
we're going to try this again. Ryan Osborn, enthralled with what's going on here on sports@usa.net. And we get a timeout on the field.
Timeout has been called from Mount Jacinto Eagles. Now we have 4 and 12 now.
So with 12 seconds, 12.9 seconds, 44-20. Hornets improving to 4-0 on this young season.
Efficiency here on sports@usa.net. The quiet one, Ryan Osborn, in the booth visiting. Ryan just said, you know what? I called soccer yesterday. I'm good. I'm worn out. Football. Football. He had football. We had football. Tomorrow we'll have foot problems.
That's what happens when you eat too much Boston cream cake.
12.9 seconds to go. Timeout. Little squib kick in the middle. Ball comes out. Finally, they call it down at the 48.
By number 82, Jarbry.
Clock is running. And they say that's it. Both coaches agreed. Game is over. Might as well let the clock run. So your Hornets come away with a big victory over Mount San Jacinto. It's the Hornets 45. Mount San Jacinto 20 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.